Perd. Perdition is the objective. Alright, let me edit. And we should be good. So okay, good. I think I have everything set up right. Oh, we have a mage. Hi, bud. Oh, I'm so dead. That's so unfortunate. We literally died at the worst possible spot. Feels bad. But yeah, I was scouting. And got wrecked. Yeah, we just kind of got wrecked by a PvP rogue. Nothing I can do about that one. Once I'm in the stun. Was the mage attacking me? Or does the rogue just hit super hard? Because I feel like he didn't even have to pop anything to kill me. No, he just did like 3.5k in like 5 seconds. Dang. That rogue's geared. But yeah, I think everyone's heading to Molten Core now. Where are they? Yeah, they're running along. But after this, probably respec. Try and do some PvP, maybe? Maybe just PvP tomorrow, though. But almost back to my corpse. But we're almost here. So yeah, typical MC today. I think I got everything I need. Got my consumes. Should have all my gear. Can't even do an Nixie yet, but have my Ani pendant anyway, I guess. Yeah. But also want to remember to equip Royal Seal. I wonder if I think I should equip it against Rag. Alright. Alright, what are we doing here? Is this a fancy? Alright. I am in. Alright, how do you get rid of the UI for those in your group? You hit this thing and you hit hide. So I'm gonna hide this. But we're good. So we're in MC. Didn't avoided any big fights. There were some alliance like raiding Kargath a little bit ago, but I think we were trying to just get to the raid on time so that people who had deadline had to leave early could. But MC. Let me sort out my consumes. I don't really need these. I should be able to complete my quest today to pick up the heads. Should have done this a year ago. I wonder how much rep I have. Hadraxians. I'm into Revered and I still haven't completed the quest. But I'll pick up the heads today. I'll be able to complete it for the Aquals. But where's my consumes? So I'm going to be popping Mongoose elixirs, Agi food, Jujus. There's my other elixir. So those are the main consumes I'm going to be pressing on every boss. No, not the raid, the ones specifically in your group. It'd normally be in the top left. It goes away, Evo, when you're in a raid group, I believe. Just got out of the worst pug you've ever been into. 1 hour before we managed to move to first boss. What dungeon? Let me try and guess. What would take an hour before you get to the first boss? That could be Ubers. That could be Ubers. What else could it be? It could be Scalo if your group got lost. It could be BRD if you're doing a later boss. I'm gonna guess Ubers. My guess is Ubers. That guy from Norway. That's what I'm putting my money on. I don't have a ton of extra squid today, but this guy's low on it. MC. Oh, MC Pug. Okay, that would make sense. Okay. I was assuming it was a dungeon. Alright, where is this guy? This guy needs some... This guy wants some squid. Sure, bud. Stop pugging it. That's what I mean. DYL, I forgot that people pugged raids. And didn't expect them to go horrifically. But yeah, I would never want to pug a raid. I hated being in half pug runs. Rip. But yeah, I don't think that's too unusual to take an hour to get to the first boss in a pug. Seems standard. Why don't you want to get into a guild, Norway? Okay. The other consumes. You get this on my bar. Yeah, just roll on everything and then wipe over and over. And lose all your staff of dominations to healers. Yeah, you should... never again. Okay, good. Yeah. That's what I would do. Just get into a guild, Norway. Get into a guild and you'll be good. You won't have to do that ever again. That's what happened to me my first week in MC. I was in like a casual guild that like half pugged, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again, because we just wiped on Sulfuron like 6 times, and I was like, this is not a hard boss, and so I just left. Did you guys go for the world bosses yesterday? I think they were dead by the time I was online. It's really hard to coordinate the entire guild going for them unless you plan it ahead, and we didn't really. So I think by the time everyone was online, they were just gone. There's only 2, right? Where does Kazakh even spawn? I don't think I've ever seen him. Is he in Blasted Lands or something? I know Azure Ghost is in Ashara. Where's Kazakh? Is it Blasted Lands? I've never killed him. Blasted Lands, yeah. I've never been to the Blasted Lands. I never did any of the quests, and I haven't done any of the consumes in there. Oh, you ended up getting both on your server, but garbage loot. Yeah, I was looking through some of the loot. The cloak is really sick. That's the one thing that I noticed as I need to update my Atlas loot, but the cloak I think is from Azure Ghost. Yeah, Poissant Cape. This thing's really nice. Yeah, but this thing's sick. 40 attack power, 1% hit. Trying to think if there's anything else decent for like rogue. The dagger is not very good. There's the Iskander offhand claw. It's not that bad actually, but yeah, more of a PvP weapon. Well, but it bleeds him too, so it's a bad debuff. I don't think it's really a rogue weapon. Yeah, the cape, I don't think the neck's that good. This cape sucks. Maybe it's good for druids. Probably not. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for World Boss loot. These gloves, how good are these gloves? 42 attack power, huh? They're a little bit better than just Devil Sword, not counting the set bonus, I guess. They're not that great. Is this thing any good? It's probably just worse than Staff of Domination, right? Maybe it's better for like shamans or something because of the mana regen. Yeah, I actually don't know what we're waiting on. I don't know if we need more people to show up or people are late, but should get started eventually here. Need to change to my, I was in my PvP setup. Get my Satyr bow in. Get my Core H gloves. Should still have 6 set. Yeah. So we finally have Hodge this week. This will be the first week doing MC with Hodge. Have been using the hit trinket. Where's my FR? I still need to, that's one thing I've forgotten to do over and over again, is set up the item set add-on, like an item rack or whatever. But my FR is going to be, I'll just stick it in one place so I know where to equip it. Just a few pieces of FR. I like equipping it for the trash. Hopefully I don't forget to equip it. I've forgotten a couple times to unequip the FR in the middle of the fight. I realize, oh, I am in full fire resistance. But it's nice to save all your consumes, especially if you have world buffs. I think that's all we need. Okay, let me open up the raid window real quick, see where we're at. 37 members. So it looks like we're just waiting for the last 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rogues today. We might have more than 7. I think 9 rogues wanted to come. Fire Blossom one shot should give a reminder, put on FR gear. Yep, so I always put on FR for the Fire Blossom. I sometimes, occasionally I'll forget to put on it in the first place, but usually the issue is I'll forget to put my raid gear on before the boss. So I'll kill a boss in like full FR that you don't need it for. But yeah, that doesn't happen too often. But I remember because I did it last week, so need to switch that out. But yeah, I think once the last few people trickle in. What daggers do you use? So you run Shadowcraft without epics because the set bonus is better? I don't have the epics to replace it, Ted. We haven't gotten that much rogue loot in our raid runs, so I haven't even had the option to replace my gear yet. I only have 2 epics for the 8 slots that Shadowcraft occupies. In terms of the daggers, I'm using Gutgore and Scarlet Chris. But if I get a few more decent pieces, I would swap out Shadowcraft or just run the 4 set. I've seen some people saying that they think Shadowcraft is better than full tier 1. I'm not really in that camp. I think there's a lot more than just procs that you want to look at, because obviously you're going to do more damage with the other set. You're going to be tankier, you're going to have more fire resistance, more stamina. So I would much rather be in like full tier 1 rather than Shadowcraft. So if I were to get like shoulders, chest, I think I would just rock the 4 set and then 2 more items, and then I'd be completely done with Shadowcraft. Is that hilarious? Is it actually? No, TeamSpeak's website isn't down. There's someone in my guild saying TeamSpeak's website's down and they can't log in. I just tried it. But yeah, you asked about the daggers, Ted. I don't remember if I showed them. Gutkor. I'm not actually going to use Scarlet Curse for the raid. I was using that for PvP. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to use my Bone Scraper. Tiny bit more damage. I wonder if there's any reflectors that are useful in here. Can you fire reflector anything on the bosses? Yeah, still don't know why we haven't started. I think we have 38 people now, but I guess we're waiting for literally everyone to get here. So, sorry about the delay. Trying to think if there's anything else. What have you guys have had more time to do phase 2 shenanigans? What have you guys thought so far? Cool, thanks mate. Best of luck with the loot and the rolls today. Keeping vids coming, love them, makes me happy in your hectic days. Yeah, I also need some ideas for some new videos, because I'm kind of not sure what else to do for videos, because I could do some PvP stuff, but a lot of the PvP tips and rotations and openers, it's not like, I mean, I didn't invent any of these things. It's not like my, patented opener. It's just like the standard rogue opener that like all the good players use. How many times have you killed Rag and how is rate looted? It's is there a way in DBM to get the actual number prior to you actually killing it? I think we've killed Rag at least like 6 times, maybe 5 times. I think 6 times. But it's loot council skimpy. Do you reserve items on your runs, or are you against that sort of thing? I don't think I reserved anything at all, really. Not a fan of reserving unless you're in a guild group that's like trying to help you. Yeah, I got you, Iron Man. Yeah, I don't really reserve unless I bring something to the group, right? But not how you should approach a fight. Yeah, that guy Norway. The thing is, like, a lot of people have already made that video, and anything that I add on that topic, I mean, I watch their videos to figure out how to do it, so it'd feel like I'm kind of just rehashing their ideas on my channel. So that's the thing about a lot of the raid stuff. Those aren't tips that I just like copy pasted from someone else. Those are just stuff that I've learned from playing the game a while. But in terms of the PvP stuff, a lot of that stuff I just learned from other players. So Purd drops. Skimpy, I think I get Purd if it drops. Are you live on Twitch too? I am, Kiel. I am on Twitch. So if you guys prefer Twitch for the emotes and all that stuff, you can head over there too if you like. But yeah, like I know what to do in all the other matchups for the duels. It's just, I mean, it would feel kind of awkward making a video when you could also just like watch any top rogue streamer and they'd tell you the same thing. And that's where I got my information, right? But maybe at some point I could think of something in PvP that I'd want to do. Okay, Bone Scraper or Distracting Dagger? It depends. Nice. If you need the plus weapon skill to hit 310, use Distracting Dagger. But any weapon skill after 310, 308 to be precise, is not useful. Thanks, Kiel. You make it easy on me too. You have like the same name on Twitch and YouTube, so I don't have to, get out my journal of names. I don't actually have a journal, but that's how it works. Nice. If you need the weapon skill to hit 308, use Distracting Dagger. Otherwise, use Bone Scraper. Hey mate, is Barman Shanker good for PvP? Barman Shanker sucks, Bill. Unfortunately, the problem with Barman Shanker is not the damage, but the proc. The proc from Barman Shanker is really bad, and it can proc when you sap. So you can actually run up to someone, sap, and then Barman Shanker will proc and immediately break your sap. So Barman Shanker is really terrible for PvP. It'll break your blind, it'll break your gouge. If it procs at awkward times, best case scenario, it procs and you are unable to use the abilities, even if it doesn't break them. But yeah, I would never use Barman Shanker for PvP. I would, yeah, Shadowfoot Stabber's good. Do you think 2 rogues can solo DM Tribute? I think it's going to be pretty tough. I think someone who was like near similar geared as me, I think we're at the point where people can like barely do DM North with a healer in a rogue. So I think 2-manning DM Tribute might be a little tough, but I haven't tried it. Maybe it's doable. Okay, but again, when killing trash here, I'm just going to be super chill on threat. Make sure I don't die. Make sure people don't have to waste their buffs on me. I'm always acting like I have a really good world buff as practice for when I do have a world buff and I don't want to die in trash. So use instant on offhand. What do you put on main hand? On main hand, I'm going to get Wind Fury, hopefully. Let me check my group. Yeah, I'm in a group with the Shaman, so I should get Wind Fury on main hand, and then instant poison on offhand. Savix did it with 2 rogues, not a problem. Yeah, they're probably both really geared, but yeah, I could see it being possible. Did they kite or did they just burst it down, Georgie? I'm just thinking like I was doing Anger Forge with rogues, and it was getting kind of sketchy at times duoing it, even with decent gear. And yeah, we could kill it, but sometimes with crits, it gets sketchy. Is there any benefit to Deadly Poison? The only benefit to Deadly Poison is that you will... I mean, there's no benefit. You're going to upset your guild, because they're going to get mad at you for putting unnecessary debuffs on things. In raid, at least. In the dungeon setting, I mean, I guess you could use Deadly Poison if you wanted, but I just always use instant. Instant's always going to be better in shorter fights. Deadly's pretty situational where it's ever going to be good. I forgot your horde. Yep. If you're ally, would you use instant or sharpened stone? I think a lot of the alliance guys use those like elemental sharpening stones. So maybe I'd use that over a poison. I haven't really looked into the difference. I thought they were more expensive. The elemental sharpening stones aren't that expensive, but if you're applying them throughout the whole raid, it's gonna add up. It's kind of gonna suck. So I'd probably just poison, unless you wanted to like use an elemental stone on like Rag or something. You see a lot of gut gores. Our raid has seen 2 gut gores. DYL. Should I call you DYL or Dial? I'm not sure. Dial doesn't quite sound right, but. What's the reason you choose daggers over swords, especially in raid? I think they're very comparable in DPS, but I heavily prefer daggers in PvP, so that's why I go daggers. You really can't pick something different in PvP and PvE, at least early on, unless you don't want to have the good weapons. So I committed to daggers because I wanted to PvP with daggers, and then as soon as I got Age Core leather gloves, I actually, it made it worth playing daggers in raid. Dill. Yeah, I don't know why I said dial. Dill would make more sense. Now that I think about it, like, where did I come up with dial? But yeah, I'll call you Dill then. Fell Striker or Gutgore in main hand? I don't know. I was looking at it, and Fell Striker, it seemed pretty nice, even over Gutgore. I think I was asked this question, and my initial reaction was to say Gutgore, but Fell Striker hits pretty hard. I think I would go. I would probably try and go Gutgore main hand, Fell Striker offhand, but if you had like a really good offhand like Corehound Tooth, maybe you put Fell Striker in main hand. I mean, that proc is at the very least a lot of fun. They burst it down, first one boss, then the other is extremely sketchy, it requires a lot of gear, but doable. Yeah, if it's really sketchy, I feel like they're going to die sometimes. Oh, I need to actually get rid of ambush. I was PvPing, so I had ambush out. Let me swap backstab for ambush. If you're playing the full PvE spec, backstab over time will do more damage than ambush, so you don't ever want to even press it. Okay. I've always heard never go daggers unless you have double Fell Striker. That's pre-raid. That's pre-raid bis. If you're trying to do maximum possible damage just on meters and stuff, I mean, maybe swords pulls ahead a tiny bit, so they say never to go daggers, but I mean, what about PvP? What if you want to play PvP as daggers? Also, someone has to take the daggers. Even if like everyone wants to play swords in the guild, someone has to take the daggers. So, and you're gonna do just almost identical damage. So I don't see it as that big of like a sacrifice to play the dagger rogue. Yeah, Fell Striker is a really low drop rate. But yeah, you definitely don't need double Fell Striker to play dagger. It's just pre-raid, swords do more damage unless you have double Fell Striker. That's a pre-raid thing. It's really a preference. MC so easy. Yeah, but like, I mean, throughout the game you're gonna have dagger rogues, just because you need someone to use the daggers. I mean, there's not enough swords, raid swords, to just hand out. So I think you're gonna see a lot of dagger rogues even when it gets more difficult. Is it worth it to go daggers with Gorecore Houndtooth plus 6p Shadow Grip? Yeah. Yeah. If you have any raid dagger, I would definitely go daggers. And you have 2 raid daggers, Georgie, so I would definitely go daggers with those too. And those are good daggers too. Any insight on fist weapon rogues seems interesting. It's kind of a meme. The problem is you need a good slow fist weapon. So I don't know when it ever gets good in the future, but right now you'd have to use like an Iskanders in the main hand, which does like no damage. It's way too fast. So that's the problem with fist weapons, is finding good ones. So that's why no one really does fist weapons. Do dishonorable kills matter much right now? Yeah, if you get a dishonorable kill, you lose rank points. So you want to try to avoid them. Drake, Claw, and Blackwing Lair. Thank you very much, Zatar. No problem, Georgie. Double Iskanders, yeah, it's a meme. Let me see what how good is that BWL Claw? Where's the Drake Claw even drop from? We pulled an extra thing. Show me your daggers. Got Gore Ripper and a Bone Scraper Anders, but hopefully that will change. Hopefully by the time we're done here, I'll have a different set of daggers. That's the plan. Get me some daggers today. All these pre-laid lists are stupid. Yesterday, Dalrin Mayhem dropped. Hunter needed it. Yeah, that's not true, Skimpy. But yeah, a lot of people just go for the list and don't really keep in mind like how good it is for other classes. So, like for example, there's going to be some items that are pre-raid best in slot for some classes and best in slot for others. So a lot of people forget that. So I'll give you an example actually. True Strike Shoulders, for example, are they're best in slot for warriors, right? Fury, but they're not for rogues. So, I mean, honestly, you should probably, if you're in like with a guildie or something, you should probably let the warrior have the True Strike Shoulders first. But a lot of people don't think about that stuff, and they just say, "Oh, well, it's my pre-raid bis, so I'm gonna need." But I mean, you can't really pass on stuff constantly if you're pugging and stuff, but. I think there's a line though where hunters start rolling on Dalrens. That's when it's really sucks. It's too much. Talents are in the description, but it's a normal combat daggers raid spec. Oh, I actually forgot to buy bandages. See if I can borrow some from someone before, or like Rag or something. Actually, I can get some now. I'll ask the same guy who I gave some food to. I think I have spare of all the consumes. I just forgot band-aids. I used them all on well, I have baby band-aids. I'm probably fine. I used them all on anger and I keep forgetting to restock. I went through so many bandages soloing Anger that many times. I had like so many stacks. How do you feel about PvP with combat daggers? I was just doing it a little bit yesterday because I didn't want to respec for 1 day of PvP. So I did PvP yesterday with combat daggers. It feels bad. It's not that terrible, but when you just know your potential without the PvE spec and you're like in raid spec, it just kind of sucks. You'll die and you're like, yeah, if I was the right spec, I wouldn't have died here. Or you'll die, or you'll lose a kill and you'll be like, yeah, if I was the right spec, I would have killed him. So combat daggers kind of sucks for PvP, unfortunately. Gutgore is the best until Gorehound Tooth. Gutgore is not better than Perdition, though. And Perdition's in the game right now, Sond. But you might have been talking about like Gutgore compared to pre-raid stuff. But Perdition's really good. Oh, I see. You were answering his question. Hold off. You're good, Sond. Let me catch up then. So I ended up getting Perd and Gutgore today. I Gutgore in the offhand good, or should you try and get Bone Scraper? Yeah, Gutgore is still better. Gutgore is barely better than Bone Scraper. It's kind of close, but Gutgore is still better. Yeah, you're good, Sond. Yeah. I figured out killing it. I figured it out. It just took me a second. I read stuff out of order. How much is the T1 belt on your server? I don't know. Maybe I should buy it at some point, because I think we've seen one tier 1 belt ever in for rogues. It's probably like 800 gold or something. How do people constantly afford swapping between PvE and PvP builds? It really sucks, honestly. You just have to farm each week. It's my least favorite part about Classic. I feel like it really limits what I can do in each week, because I know if I want a PvP, I have to respec. And if you raid midweek, like sometimes I have to raid on Tuesdays for Onyxia and Fridays, and that means I have to respec. If I want a PvP in between, oh nice. If I want a PvP in between raid days, that means I have to respec twice. So it's 100 to 200 gold a week. It really sucks. 400 gold on your server, Skimpy. Scarlet Chris or Bone Scraper? Scarlet Chris for PvP, Bone Scraper for raid. I think these guys have been waiting for a Bracer of Might for a while, so I think they're, let me actually check. Where does that put him on his set bonus? He's gonna be at 4 set might. Nice. 1,500 gold on yours, Z-Man. Jeez. What does your guild do with BOE drops? They go to the player. You just roll on them. They don't sell them or anything. At least not until we run out of them. I think we actually held one. Last time we had like no druid needed a BOE. I think we held it because we were planning on recruiting another druid, and then we gave it to them. I think this guy. I think he might have it. We did a night of trash farming every week. Everyone in the guild has BOEs. We just sell them now. Yeah, we trash farmed actually a lot. We trash farmed for like 3 or 4 weeks, like a day early, and we just have not gotten lucky with the BOEs, man. How you farming gold as a rogue? Pickpocket runs so boring. Yeah, I swapped out my second profession for disenchanting, and I do RFD disenchant runs now. Bindings, I don't really want, I'm not rolling on a binding. I don't want a Thunder Fury. I'm in the worst spot right now. You're one-shotting everything, but your loot counts for a million DPS, 9 rogues. Yeah, Aryan, that really sucks. It really sucks when you have just too many. Oh, did I just juju someone else again? I've done this twice. I need to macro it or something. Down goes a juju. Name of threat meter. I'm using Details' raid plugin. Raid threat plugin. Alright, let me try jujuing myself now. Thank you for the Hodge video. Decided to try it last night. Feeling discouraged. Finally got him and it dropped. Yeah, it's pretty tough. You need good gear and you gotta kind of get used to it. But once you figure it out, you're good. Okay. Why? What are you asking why to, Furid? I kill fire elementals, mine them at the same time on Goro. That's pretty good. Seems pretty good. Are you using poisons or sharpening stones on bosses? I'm using poisons. Favorite spec for PvP? I like the dagger spec that goes improved backstab, cold blood, and and prep. I think it's really fun, but you don't necessarily have to go cold blood as daggers. It's not as important, but I still think it's fun. All right, got my resto pots ready. Probably will fall behind on chat in a second when the boss comes. But basically on this boss, I'm going to try and pop all my CDs really early. Last week I didn't vanish fast enough. I think I got a little unlucky last week, but well, thanks for letting me know. Damage done. Oh, we're still doing core hounds. I already buffed up. I was ready for the boss. Didn't realize we had one more set of core hounds. So yeah, make sure you don't burn your like blade flurry on the core hounds and then don't have it for the pull. So I'm just running around killing the high health ones here. What's y'all's time on MC? I don't know. We play safe strats. We don't try and speedrun. So I think we just try to never wipe. We don't actually try and speedrun. Could you show gear? I'm about to do the boss, Stefan, but if you check the YouTube description, I have a link with all my gear. Do you think Striker's Mark should be prioritized? I don't think it should go to Hunters because they're just going to instantly replace it. It's not very good for Marksman Hunters, and I think pretty much everyone plays Marksman, right? So that's why it usually goes to melee DPS. Usually tanks, then rogues, which is whatever. Do you recommend the 6 set? It's up to you, man. The Shadowcraft set's really good pre-raid, but as you get... I don't know that I would necessarily recommend people who are, you know, kind of in the midst of their raid gear to go and get it, because you're going to replace it pretty quickly. But yeah, if you want, it's really good pre-raid, and if you can fit it into your raid pieces, it's good there as well. Your stream is so satisfying. Thanks, Shoggle. But all right, so I'm probably not gonna look at chat anymore. I'm gonna try and not die on Lucifron like I did last week. I think that was unlucky, but I still should have vanished faster. What are the odds I pull aggro of the boss with Blade Flurry? That means I was out threading the tank who was focusing on him. Unlucky. No daggers yet, Stefan. Yeah, rip. All right, here we go. I'm dropping out of stealth. Why is there aggressive air totem? I'm starting to panic. Okay, he's trying to totem swap. Sick. I had to vanish early because I was gonna get dominate minded. Should be okay so far. Slice and dice just dropped. Nice, I got it off. Actually pretty clutch. Sprinting to try and keep up with him as he's out of control. Re-up. Is there any CD I haven't used? I can Blood Rage here. Okay, I'm resto potting as soon as I get the curse. That doesn't let me cast. Come on, resto pot. All right, the resto pot went off in time. Re-up my slice and dice. And hopefully get some Shadowcraft procs or something. I think I'm gonna eviscerate here. Not too bad. Top melee DPS. I didn't beat the Hunter, unfortunately, but I think I did fine. I think I did everything I wanted to do in the fight. I had to vanish a little early. Sometimes you have to do that reactionary if you have too much threat on the casters. So I had to vanish there or I would have got mind controlled, and obviously it's a big DPS loss to get mind controlled. But yeah, I did resto pot as soon as the... I don't care about the damage curse. I can just let the healers heal me. I wait till the curse that stops you from casting that I actually use my resto pot there. All right, let me try and catch up. Okay. Actually, not okay. You didn't ask too many questions during the fight, so I'm all caught up. But yeah, I think that went all right. But just be ready with the reactionary vanish on that fight. You have to just be ready for it and react fast. And I was a little slow, but I got it off in time. I think I'm not sure about the AI, but it might be best to last second to vanish like I did, so that the boss actually casts it and then doesn't just recast it on someone else. So that might have been the best play. I don't actually know the AI if You probably want to actually try and vanish it right as it's cast, and it won't get recast, is my guess. Your Beardy pickpocketing for Heartseeker, going to take 3 more days. Do you think it's worth? I wouldn't do it for Heartseeker. I wouldn't, unless you don't think that you have like a good raiding guild or something. So I wouldn't do it unless you don't think you'll be able to get into like raid groups for whatever, if you like schedule conflicts. But if you can raid, I would just raid and save your 700 gold. But if you already have your mount, you can get a Heartseeker if you want. It's just a little pricey. Should you enchant your Shadowcraft gear? I enchanted it. But yeah, I would probably enchant it. 4 rogues in our core group want to go daggers, 3 want to go swords. Yeah, that kind of sucks. You hope to be on like a... Sometimes you can luck out and get in groups where like not that many people want to play daggers, and you can get just all the loot. But yeah, unfortunate. Heartseeker really isn't worth it. Yeah, in my opinion, it's just too pricey. But you know, if you want to do as much damage as possible pre-raid, it's what you do. What's the add-on showing your heals? And oh, I need to hide this, by the way, guys. I forgot to hide it. There's no add-on showing the heals and procs. It's just a setting. You go to interface, you go to combat, and you do enable floating combat text. So it's no add-on there. What about Alcors? Alcors is, I think, probably more inefficient than a Heartseeker. So I would get a Heartseeker before I got an Alcors, and I wouldn't get either because I think they're too expensive. But yeah, I think Alcors is really expensive as well. Your offhand is not that big of a deal. Alcors is the best in slot offhand pre-raid, but not by that much. It's not that much better than, for example, like a Bone Scraper. I think some people even think Bone Scraper is better. Yeah, that's what killing it. If nobody wants daggers, oh my gosh, that's the guild you want to be in. You just get everything. It's super sick. But see, refresh my food as soon as we're out of combat, and then this fight's super easy. All you want to do is wait for the fear, and then pop all your CDs. I know you mentioned this already, but what is the threat meter you use? This is just the raid plugin for details. Plugins raid. You go to the cog, hit plugins raid for details. Do you try to time your Sinister Strike with your main hand swing when you have Wind Fury? I don't do that with backstab. If you have improved swords or whatever, I would try and do it. But I noticed when I tried to get the swing timer out, especially while I'm streaming, I just end up wasting energy. So honestly, I feel like I was just losing DPS trying to use the meter with daggers. It's harder with daggers because you have to wait till 60 energy, and then if you get a Shadowcraft proc, you can waste it. So I haven't been using a swing timer. At some point maybe I'll practice it a bunch in a week once I no longer am using Shadowcraft, and then I'll just start using it. But when you have Shadowcraft, you kind of want to use your energy as fast as possible to make sure you don't waste it from a Shadowcraft proc. Okay, I just popped all CDs. I'm gonna vanish really early. Get our slice and dice up. This is a fiesta, but I vanished, so I should be safe to keep going. Okay, make sure I'm not in the fire. But yeah, I ended up pulling aggro there, immediately vanish. Okay, we kind of pulled energy there. A little unlucky with the Shadowcraft proc, but I don't think there's anything I could have done about it. But hopefully, I'm trying to get a Crusader proc before my T. I didn't end up using it because I didn't want to get extra threat during that whole thing. But I think I'll just T right after this backstab. Backstab, T, backstab, backstab. And can I sneak in a backstab and an eviscerate? I'm gonna wait. I think I can. Oh, it's gonna be close. I got it. Okay. Yeah. I think I still did fine. I'm not too worried about the DPS when the boss is running all over the place. But I did pop Blade Fury a little too early there. When you said RFD disenchant runs, is that better than the Pyro farm? It depends on the cost of shards on your server. So, for example, shards dropped to like 2 gold at some point, and it wasn't worth it anymore. But if they're 3 gold and up, then the RFD runs are pretty efficient. Get like 45 gold an hour minimum. And the runs are really quick. So what I'll do is I actually can do like 6-minute runs. So I'll do all 5 runs in like 30 minutes, and then I'll just like go AFK, do something else, play a different game, whatever you want. You can go on an alt, and then I'll log back in 30 minutes later and do them really quick. So the runs are actually really fast. You can go so fast in RFD that you pass the timer. 2 best daggers right now, Perdition, Core Tooth. Yep, those are the best 2 daggers. Alcor's really only good for PvP, for offhand poison spec. I mean, if that's even a thing. I don't know about any poison builds actually doing that well, but yeah. I mean, Alcor only attacks like 0.10 faster than Bone Scraper and 0.2 faster than 0.10 I should say, but 0.2 faster than Scarlet Chris, so I don't really think the poison applications are going to be that much higher. Nice performance, man. Yeah, I mean, I was top melee on the first one. I think I did fine on the second. It's just sometimes with procs and stuff, you just don't end up, your number's not as high as other people sometimes, but I don't really get too worried by it. I just try and say at the end of the fight, did I screw up? So for example, there I pressed my Blade Fury too early. I made an error in that fight, but besides that, I think I did fine. So that's always what I do, because I know there's not that many variables in the fight, right? You can kind of tell if you did bad. I don't even need a damage meter here. I can just say, you know what, I pressed Blade Fury a little too early. That was maybe a tiny DPS loss. And that's, you know, I didn't even need to look at the meter. I knew besides that I did fine. But, because after that, it's just all gear, and it's all world buffs and stuff. So I only really care about how I play the fight, not really the end damage meter number. Sometimes I can tell though, like if I get a bunch of Shadowcraft procs, I'm like, okay, we just did like 600 DPS. Raid looking good. You running +1 on the loot? I do not know what that means, but if you're asking, actually wait. I'm gonna put this thing over here for today, so I see the loot. Actually, no, it doesn't work in raid loot, huh? Rip. Yeah, sometimes I forget to pay attention to loot dropping because I'm focused on streaming. So if something good drops, let me know. It was a joke. Lol. Let me see what you said, Lil Bear. Alcor's really good. Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, what poison spec are you playing, man? I was like, I don't know about that one. You know, sometimes people come in with their wonky builds, and I try not to rain on their parade. But yeah, the offhand poison spec build, I wasn't too sold on it. You got Viscag last night? Grats, Bliss. That's pretty rare, I think. Are you guys seeing a lot of Viscags? Our guild has not seen one yet. By the way, what are your thoughts on aggression to ruthlessness for PvE? Which one's aggression? This one's aggression, right? Yeah. Aggression for swords is good. For daggers is not good. Seven runs finally dropped. Yeah, I think this Viscag's pretty rare. All right, do you prefer Crusader? I'm still catching up, guys. Sorry, I'm a little behind. When I kill a boss, I usually always fall behind. You prefer Crusader enchant or striking for daggers? Striker on the main hand, Crusader on the offhand. I think it'd be kind of maybe neat to try double Crusader, because I feel like a good player could leverage the double Crusader by using their abilities during the procs, but I've been using striking on the main. Okay, what do you think the best swords are right now that you can get? Viscag in the main, Brutality Blade in the offhand. I would dual wield them, Ariane. I would use Brutality Blade in the offhand, even though it's slow. Being slow doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it's a tiny bit worse than PvP, but it's not that big of a deal. I think fast weapons are a little overplayed in PvP, in the offhand. I don't think it's really that important. Okay, I think I caught up. Alright, when you said RFD farming disenchants, I'm new to this. Is it faster than pyros? So basically, I prefer it. I think it's more fun than just doing the pyro pickpocket runs. I mean, you could try both and see what you think, but I didn't really have a profession, so I didn't mind picking up disenchanting, so I just use engineering and then whatever. And I've been liking the runs so far. I think they're more fun because you're kind of stealthing past guys and you're actually like fighting a lot of bosses regularly, and you don't actually have to pickpocket. And I think the pickpocketing is kind of tedious, but it's up to you. Fabio, let me paste you the talents. I don't have a chat command, but you know, those are the talents. Rock and Devil Sword pants and hands. When should you swap it out for Shadowcraft? As soon as you can. Bye, Felicia. I would swap it out as soon as you can. For PvE, is Bis Sword Rogue or Bis Dagger do more damage? They both do the same. They're very close splits. I would probably just say swords, a very slight tip of the hand to swords, but daggers are easier to play. So daggers are easier to play. You might do more damage with daggers over swords, but if you're a really, really good player, you can get more value out of swords by using all the swing timer stuff. 4-set Shadow. I would use 6-set Shadow as soon as you can, unless you have raid gear over it, Felicia. Okay. Brutality is Bis offhand. What main hand you named the best? Viscag Bloodletter. Yeah, someone else mentioned it as well. That's how it's. You can look in chat from Skimpy to see how it's spelled, but it's Viscag Bloodletter. It drops from Onyxia. Isn't 6-set Shadow Devil Sword better than tier 1? I don't think so, Bis. I think some people are saying that it like sims better if they do like their spreadsheets and all this stuff, but I think a lot of them are really undervaluing stamina, fire resistance, and just the consistency that tier 1 provides. Because if you just run tier 1, not only are you going to have the defensives, but you don't have to worry about procs anymore. It's just another variable you don't have to worry about, and you're going to do... I feel like you're probably still going to do better damage as tier 1 over Shadowcraft, even if you don't consider the survivability. But some people, I guess, their spreadsheets and all that are showing that Shadowcraft adds so much damage that they think in a pure DPS fashion that it might be better than some tier 1. But I'm going to swap to tier 1 and tier 2 stuff as soon as I get, you know, more pieces. Can you explain how to time for swords? Yeah, basically this sword spec talent, whenever you get your additional weapon swing, the additional weapon swing occurs in place of your upcoming auto attack, if that makes sense. So if you were about to hit with an auto attack and then you get an extra swing, it will replace that upcoming auto attack with the extra swing. So you basically want to use all of your abilities right after your main hand swing. So you get a timer add-on that shows you when your main hand swing is going to happen, and then right after it happens, you want to pop all your Sinister Strikes. So a swing, Sinister Strike. Wait for your swing, Sinister Strike. And it's just so that if you get an additional weapon swing, it does not replace your upcoming attack. So hopefully that makes sense. Zatar, Shadowfoot Stabber plus Chris, or Crawl plus Scarlet Chris? I would do, yeah, that seems good for pre-raid. I don't know if you're asking which one you should use. How much are these core verts worth? They're worthless, okay. 5-piece tier 1 and 2-piece tier 2 is pretty nice. Yep, it's really good. Can you show talents? They're in the, I posted them in chat and they're in the description, Jacob. What weapon should I put on my main hand? You have Gutgore, Ripper, Corehound Tooth, Fell Striker. Oh, I would do Fell Striker in the main hand, Corehound Tooth offhand. You got some nice weapon there, unlucky dogs. Got some nice weapons. It is, you've lost all roll on weapons. Yeah, rip. That's the one thing that sucks about just rolling on everything. Alright. Eat my food real quick. My Juju's still good. I don't have a free action potion for this guy, so I'm probably not going to do top damage on the charts, but whatever. I don't feel like wasting the... I'm already spending too much on consumes. Mongoose elixirs went up a lot in price this week, so I'm not too worried about free action potioning for this fight. It's not going to make the difference in the kill, so... Which one to use, because you don't have any weapons planning to buy, not to farm, so I don't know. It just depends on what you want to do. So if you want to play daggers, you could go Shadowfoot Scarlet Chris. If you want to play the Hemo spec, you can play Crawl Zeal. I think Crawl and Zeal are going to be better than Shadowfoot in Raid, so you might just be best off playing Swords pre-Raid. But it's up to you if you want to, which playstyle you prefer. Shadowfoot Stabber is worse than those other two weapons, but it's also cheaper. So it's just up to you whether or not you want to... let me put my poison on real quick. Phew, good thing I remembered. Get Corian if you plan to use a dagger offhand for the stamina. Viscag, Fell Striker for PvP will be juicy. Yeah, Fell Striker is really sick. But, I mean, it's just such a low drop rate. Okay, going in. Immediately stunned. See if we live through this. Alright, we live. This happens every time. These hunters are always way too slow on their feign deaths. Yeah, it looks like his feign death got resisted. This happens every week though on this fight. Just the boss always runs away. But yeah, just stunned a lot. Not going to do too good to damage, but it's whatever. I tried getting as much damage out as I could while they were stacked and during the Blade Flurry. That's pretty much all you want to do this fight. Pop all your CDs right away. Try and get as much damage in as you can during the Blade Flurry. I'm not gonna actually slice and dice here. I think the boss is gonna die so quickly that an Abyss is gonna be better. And I'm just sitting in the Rain of Fire. It doesn't do that much damage until it moves. What do we have here? Ooh, nice Slayer gloves. I don't think I'm in line for a regular piece, so I don't think I get that. No free action potions. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste them on that fight, killing it. I'm not too worried about it. Still did top 3 though. It's not too bad. I bet I can smoke free action potion there. Guys, we roll on the Sorcerer's Dagger, guys? Roll on the Sorcerer's Dagger? Is this thing good? Probably way worse than Mageblade. Well, a warrior got it, but then I passed to rogue after the raid. Let me see. Makes 0 cents. A dagger rogue with raid daggers got Viscag over me, which at the time still... Yeah, that sucks, AK. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty... That's the thing about guilds, though. You just... If you need to have some type of loot council, I think, in those type of situations where it's like, okay, this guy's got... We already gave him a Viscag, and this guy doesn't have anything. Or he already has daggers, and then this Viscag should go to the Sword Rogue, but yeah. Can you show quick all installed add-ons? I think I might do an add-on video soon. You guys are always asking about my add-ons, and there's nothing too crazy about them, but there's a few that are nice. Basically, I got DBM. I've got... I got a swing timer, but I don't really use it. Guild chat. Okay, what enchants on daggers do you use? Crusader on the offhand, striking on the main hand. I was just trying to see what's going on with the Night Slayer gloves. I think they're just going to be given to someone besides me. I don't think I'm up for a piece right now. We kind of do a round robin, and I think I got a neck, I guess, 2 recently, or the head. I think it was the head. It's funny because it was last week's Onyxia, but we've had so little rogue loot since then that I still not up on the round robin, which is funny. That like weeks ago I get an item, and I still don't have a chance at another item because of the round robin. I mean, it's nothing. I'm fine with the round robin for like the less important items, but it's just hilarious how little rogue loot we're getting. That like I have to think back and imagine the last piece I got. All right, we use DKP, ran MC. Yeah, that's the thing about DKP, man. I feel like a lot of it's down to RNG. You can make like educated guesses. Say, okay, it's unlikely Viscag is going to drop. I'll snag the tier 2, and then hopefully build up DKP before Viscag drops, and then it just drops and you're screwed. So yeah, I really don't like DKP. What's the rogue Sumptable class quest? It's actually pretty good loot. There's a really good mask, and there's some fun items too. The mask is really good pre-raid, but by the time it comes out, you probably just want to take like the cloak. The cloak for the Sunken Temple class quest makes you, or reduces the fall damage you take while it's equipped, and then the other thing, the boots, like improve your stealth skill. So there's a couple cool items. For me, honestly, I would probably take the boots because I'm engineering and I have parachute cloak. So, but there's some neat items from the Sunken Temple quest. More fun items than that good. Did someone say my name? I don't know if someone said my name. I'm trying to listen to TeamSpeak and talk to you guys. All right. Is the class quest in game right now? I haven't checked since phase 2. It definitely was not in phase 1. And I think if it goes according to plan, I think like Wowhead showed it as like phase 5 or something. So I would not expect it in the game. But yeah, Ebon Mask is the name of the head. It's good pre-raid, but like obviously not better than a raid head. Why would you want Night Slayer gloves if you got the +5 dagger gloves? I don't want them. I was just curious. Well, I would want them for PvP. So like I don't really want them MGF, but for PvP they'd be nice. So I wouldn't, like, for example, I'm never gonna whisper someone for the gloves, but and I wouldn't expect to get them in this situation. But I was curious where they were going to. But yeah, the gloves would only be for PvP since I have the dagger ones. You got a lot of tier gear at that point, but still salty. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about loot, honestly. As long as I'm not getting skamazed, it's all chill, right? It's important to like stand up for yourself so you don't get like taken advantage of and like loot councils and stuff, and like you don't miss out on gear that you earned basically. But after that, I don't really take gear too seriously. I just, do what I, show up on time, do all the things asked of me, and get the loot when I can. But it is also important not to get pushed around though. So for example, if you were in line for an item and it drops and you don't get it, like you need to make some noise and make sure you either get the item right away or that it's corrected in the future. I see a lot of people, they come in to chat and they're like, hey, I was supposed to get the weapon, I didn't get it, and now I'm sad. And it's like, you need to stand up for yourself right there and then, and you either resolve the issue or leave the guild, right? That you kind of have to do that unless you're going to get taken advantage of. How often you respec for PvP? It depends. I usually respec for PvP every other week. Basically, my guild sometimes does Onyxia the same day as Molten Core, but we sometimes do it Tuesday as well. And if we do it Tuesday, I a lot of times won't respec until after. I won't respec that week because I can only fit in a couple days of PvP. With phase 2, that might change. So I might pay 200 gold the weeks that that's too much money, man. I don't know if I can do it, but I might have to pay 200 gold on the weeks where we do Onyxia midweek. It's tough. At the very least, I spend 100 gold a week respecking, but sometimes 200. It really sucks. Are you and your guild doing some sort of prio for daggers, or can sword rogues just get daggers due to round? No. So the round robins for not important items. So like just regular tier items are just round robined off. The important stuff like weapons, we do not round robin. We loot council. which I think is pretty fair because it's not really that big of a deal to like start fussing over like Night Slayer boots or something, but you also want to make sure that you're not, handing out the really important items to people who aren't gonna stay in the guild or are new or whatever. Corrupt guilds will usually take advantage of you until you say something. So yeah, that's what I mean. So if you think something fishy happened, like don't just be like, oh, well, they told me I was supposed to be in line for this dagger or whatever, and then I didn't get it. Hopefully I get the next one. Like don't do that, right? Because next time you're not gonna get it again, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I probably should have left a while ago, huh? So I just got bopped. But yeah, it's basically that's my philosophy, right? Make sure you don't get taken advantage of, and that you're in like a fairly distributed loot guild, and then chill, and then I never make any fuss about loot. I just, as it comes, it comes, and as long as you're not getting taken advantage of or whatever, you're good. Seems really fair. Hoping Purds drops for you tonight, and get it in front of the warriors. Yeah, no warriors are allowed to roll on the Purd. I think I might be in line for the Purd, so if it drops, I think I should get it. The only thing is if Corehound Tooth drops first, that might change things. But unless that happens, I think I'm in line for the Purd, so that'll be cool. But this kind of sucks because if it's your turn to win anything, then you were essentially raiding for nothing. No, you're not raiding for nothing because more than one item, is going to drop at a time. So like, I mean, am I raiding for nothing because I'm like third in line for a round robin item? I mean, what if 3 rogue items drop in the raid, right? Also, I mean, if you're in that mindset where that sounds like a mindset of someone who's not in a guild, when you're saying like, oh, it's pointless to go to the raids unless you can get an item. It's like, for example, there's nothing I can get out of Onyxia, absolutely nothing, but I still go. Obviously, without question. It's not about, I already got my items from Onyxia. Now I need to help the other people in my guild who still don't have an Onyxia Tooth pendant. I need to help them get an item. So I don't really agree with that mindset of, oh, why even show up to raid if I'm behind on the round robin or something that week. Okay. We use one of those fancy point systems, EP/GP system, and it's working pretty well, but we do have an elemental loot cancel. I think that's fine. Like if you have some sort of DKP or the EP/GP system with loot council on top of it, I think that's fine. I think it's just the big items that really suffer in like a DKP system where where like big items are really controversial in DKP guilds, and it's just a lot of drama, a lot of hassle. But if you loot council the big items and then use DKP, I mean, that could work. At that point, I think it's just kind of complicated for nothing, but I would still prefer loot council, but it's not too bad. 2 people ahead of you for Viscags, just happy for them to get loot because it means the guild's successful, run the raid faster. Yeah, I mean, I don't really put much stock into like, oh, the raid getting stronger, because honestly, I find most of the raid content really easy. I think of it more like, okay, this guy deserves it just as much as me, so I'm happy that they get it and they can use it in like PvP and stuff. You shouldn't raid because you're saying it sucks that you don't win anything. Well, but you already just got an item, Skimpy, so I don't even feel like I would feel like it sucks to raid knowing I won't get anything, because you just got an item. You should be happy that you just got an item. That's the only situation you'd be behind on the round robin, right? Except, well, unless you don't get raid for weeks, raid loot. But yeah, Gar's super easy. We just run up to him and attack him. Lately, he has not been stripping my buffs too quickly. I think I might just wait for a Crusader proc, pop all my cooldowns. You think Alcor's Sunraiser are worth it? I do not. How does Alcor fare to other weapons? It's really good. It's pre-raid best in slot, but like not really much better than Bone Scraper. I wouldn't. Or Scarlet Chris. I wouldn't spend the money on Alcor. What are your thoughts on gearing your best people first? I mean, I think it's all comes to a point killing it. If you have like actively players that just don't do any damage, they could be lower on the priority list for big items. I'm not a big fan of like not giving gear to anyone if they don't have high enough DPS numbers. But maybe the big items could be prioritized to the higher performing players. But I'd say you either help them try and do more damage or kick them. But once the lower performing, in quotes, players have been in the guild a while, I would just, they're just one of the guild now. You've had a chance to see if you could adjust their play or whatever, and you haven't. So now that you just have to treat them like everyone else. And I think they should have equal rights to the gear. Do people insist to selling Alcors for... Yeah, it's a really expensive Alcor. Scarlet Chris worth 90 gold. If I would snag it for 90 gold. I think that's a good price. Alcor's so expensive, yep. I wouldn't get it ever. It's too expensive. I can PvP in the world and tell you one thing. You can be much more successful with dungeon gear as raid gear, especially as rogue. Yeah, you can be just as successful. The one thing is weapons, man. You can't undersell how much a raid weapon can increase your PvP damage. So you can still do well by just playing your class well and having pre-raid gear. But in PvP, if you want to do the crazy one-shots and stuff, let me make sure I juju myself. Okay, we're jujued. The daggers do increase. Like daggers and swords really increase your PvP damage too. Yeah, Alcor is expensive because it's a tank weapon. You rogues shouldn't really be buying Alcors. It's not really worth the money. It's so expensive. What's the add-on that shows white damage, sinister strike damage? This is called like this thing. Talking about that, or are you talking about on my screen? Backstab calculator or backstab calc. I think it's backstab calculator, but I can double check after kill the boss. You can check my gear in the description, Marcos. We're about to kill Gar, so I can't look at it right this second.
5.
Where's
4,
my sharpening stone?
3, 2, 1.
See this, guys? Last minute sharpening stone. Don't worry about it. Uh-oh. Alright. I'm gonna backstab. I'm gonna feint. This is sketch. I'm vanishing. This is sketchy. Well, I don't know what's going on with the tanking this week. I don't know if I'm safe to pop CDs yet. I'm worried about pulling threat. Alright, my slice and dice is about to run out. Refresh. Thanks for the follow. I'll read your name in a sec. Hopefully we can get a Crusader proc. Oh, there it is. Popping CDs. During the Crusader proc. Thistle Tea. Nice. I'm not going to slice and dice here. I'm going to eviscerate. A 5 combo point, I'm going to eviscerate. I'm not going to slice and dice again. I'll just hold off. Sometimes towards the very end of the fight. Okay, we did decent on damage. How many rate buffs does X-Smoke have? X-Smoke. Just curious. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good with the... I think I'm only behind X-Smoke because of the Firewater and the crit buff from Dire Maul. So I think I'm doing good, or the attack power. But yeah, after the boss dies, like I just stop damage. A lot of times our melee doesn't even... We're told not to attack them, so we don't get wrecked. But I think we did good on that one. Second in damage. I waited for the Crusader. A lot of the kills, for whatever reason, are getting like really sketchy with aggro. I'm never the one like screwing up the aggro, so that's all I can say is that I'm fainting right away and I'm vanishing. But our kills are a little sketchy with aggro for some reason today. I don't know. But let me catch up on... Let me catch up on the chat, though. Okay. Alright, I'll just run out a little early on this one. Alright, finishing up these guys, and then I'll catch up on chat. Yeah, I think we did pretty well there. I waited for the Crusader. Again, a little bit of a sketchy fight, simply because I wasn't able to auto-attack as much the first few seconds because we were literally chasing the boss. But You know, it's whatever. All right, let me catch up. Okay, gearing best performing people only works if you have like 4+ rosters long term or whatever. Yeah, so basically how my guild does it is we gear up the people who have been in the guild longer over trials for important items, just because, like, you know, people are more likely to leave the shorter they've been in the guild, if that makes sense. But once they've been in the guild for a little bit, like, we promote them to a non-trial and they're allowed to gear. Someone asked for my, I think Marcus, I might have told you to check the description. If not, check the description for my gear. What's your favorite gold farm? I like the RFD stealth runs. Is Sword of Zeal worth it if you can farm rend? Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, if you don't want to farm rend, yeah, Sword of Zeal and Crawlblade are both really good. I would not. I wouldn't even bother trying to get Dal Rens if I were combat. What do we have here? Nice, an Aura Stone, sick. When do you switch from 6 out of 8 Shadowcraft to tier 1? I am going to switch 6 out of 8 Shadowcraft when I have like 4 to 5 pieces of raid gear. I think the extra stamina and the fire res is important. And even in raid, I would take it over the Shadowcraft. It's also, you're just going to have more consistency as well. I think the consistency is helpful to measure your improvement over fights and stuff too, and Shadowcraft kind of screws that up. So that's why I would switch to tier 1. Yeah, so for consistency and for survivability. Why would you recommend putting Fellstriker into the main hand with Corehound Tooth in the offhand instead of Gut Gore main hand Fellstriker offhand? Corehound Tooth is really good, so it kind of sucks to not equip that one. Unlucky. You could put Fellstriker in the offhand, but Corehound Tooth is so good. I think any configuration is going to be good unlucky, but that's just my my guess. I don't think there's much of a damage difference between Gut Gore and Fellstriker, if I'm remembering right. Let me check. Ubers, Ren. Hold on, I need to equip my... so 45. Gut Gore 63 versus 54, 101. It's not that big of a damage difference. But it's not insignificant. Just up to you, man. You could probably go Fellstriker in the offhand, but you're going to get less procs that way. It doesn't say melee attacks, right? Let me equip my fire res real quick. All right, I got my fire res in. I can help with the fight now. But yeah, I don't want to get Fire Blossom, so I always switch to fire res for these guys. Just got back. What dropped from Gar? Aura Stone, Warlock something, and then what was the other item? Cenarian Helm. So Druid Helm, Warlock Helm, and Aura Stone Hammer. No problem, unlucky. It just comes down to like putting Fellstriker in the main hand means more procs. I think I wanted to double check that it didn't say melee hit, and that it said attack, just to make sure that information is correct. Yeah, chance on hit. Yeah, so you'll get more Fellstriker procs by putting it in the main hand. You'll lose a little bit of damage on the individual backstabs, but you'll get a lot more procs. So at the end of the day, it's up to you, but not that many people have Fellstriker. So for example, I don't have it, so I don't have any data on like whether it's going to end up doing more damage than Gut Gore. But at the very least, it's going to be more fun, right? It's going to be something that if you're a good player, you can watch for the proc and then always Thistle Tea, and you'll do a ton of damage. I don't even keep FR in your bag for these pulls. Yeah, I keep it just for these pulls. It's good if you come in with world buffs. So like right now, if I had Ani buff, it'd be pretty important that I had FR, or else I could just die and lose Ani buff. For best damage, do you prefer daggers or swords if you have equal weapons? I prefer daggers. Daggers are easier to play. Also, I enjoy them more in PvP, but swords do slightly more damage if you time everything correctly. with all your swing timers and stuff. Can you show spec? It's in the description, Dylan. 0.2 drop rate. Yep, Fell Striker's really low drop rate. That's why I haven't even really tried getting it. I mean, it'd be so much fun to have it, but it's just so low drop rate. Viscag has been much harder to get as a rogue than Perds. Well, I haven't seen either drop, so they've both been pretty hard for me so far. But yeah, against these mobs too, you want to like literally run away if you get like below half. So I'm at 75%. With my FR, I think I'm okay here. But if you're lower, you can like run out at 75%. Okay, swords greater than daggers with equal. Yep, that's true, Rave. If you do all the swing timers, do everything right, swords outperform daggers. But you gotta play perfectly. Daggers are easier to play. What add-on are you using for your stats? Are you talking about these things? I think is classic stats something. Classic stats, character stats classic. Character stats classic. Hey, that's my server. Yep, I'm on Incendius Precise. You Horteside or Alliance Precise? You're standing in the flame that mob drops when it dies, Zatara. Oh, is that why I was taking like 200 damage? Yeah, I can't say that I'm paying too much attention right now. Kind of looking at chat. But I didn't even know he dropped a flame. This ad doesn't do that much damage though, or else I would have figured it out, I guess. Thanks for letting me know. Fire guard or the flame walker, you can't remember which. Flame on the ground. Yep. Thanks for the heads up, Rave. Okay, looks like we are ready for looks like we're ready for the boss. So I'm gonna make sure I have all my gear in right. 6 at Shadowcraft. Yep. Have everything good. And I'm gonna eat my fish. What daggers are you using right now? I'm using Gut Gore in the main and Bone Scraper in the offhand. What, in your opinion, is the best way to farm gold as rogue? I enjoy RFD farms. If the shards do well, I think it's really efficient. You can do 5 runs, 30 minutes, get like 45 gold in 30 minutes, but then you have to like reset the instance and wait 30 minutes. So it's really, really fast gold. 45 gold an hour if you count inactive time, like 90 gold an hour if you do something else with your time. Yeah, you can. Mining is really good though if you go to the caves. Oh, Incendius is your horde server, Rave. I guess your alliance for your main though. Okay, I still have my weapon stone for this thing. They're explaining the fight. I guess we have a few trials, so they're explaining where we drop the get-in bombs. Is it difficult to level as a rogue? Precise. I don't think rogue is that hard. I mean, you do if you just go to zones where you're higher level, you'll have no problem. The issue arises if you try and kill orange enemies while leveling. It's going to be a struggle. So you just have to play differently than the other classes if you're playing melee. You can't fight orange mobs or else it's going to be too slow. Corehound Tooth over Distracting Dagger if you don't have the gloves. Yeah, I'd say Corehound Tooth, but it's a little closer because of the weapon skill, but yeah, I think it's still pretty easily Corehound Tooth. Is it worth it to craft Heartseeker? I don't think so, Bill. I think it's too expensive. Going for the relics and BRD. I have not done the relic runs, but I know some people do them and fit them in with their pickpocket runs and make good gold per hour, like 50, 60 gold an hour. You're about to start MC in a few hours. Why are you watching this? You're just getting ready, Pantera. Do you ever do BRD stealth runs? I don't, Deborah. I think they're kind of boring. I prefer the RFD runs. Is it worth it to drop Devil Sword for 6 set bonus? I would. As long as you don't lose your hit soft cap, I would. BRD PP farm is driving you insane. Yeah. Pickpocket runs are pretty boring, not gonna lie. What enchants do you have overall? Just the pretty standard ones. I don't have the head enchant because I'm poor. And the tomes are like 150 gold on my server. So I don't have the head enchant yet, although I hopefully can get it soon. The chest, I don't have the stats. I just got health instead. But besides that, standard enchants, agility. Got the big strength on the bracers. striking, Crusader, all that. But I'm gonna focus on the fight real quick and then catch up on the comments. I think Zeal is really close to Crawls. Muviki, I would go with Zeal if that's much cheaper. Which bosses you kill in RFD? All of the ones except for like all the regular bosses. So you don't do any of the events.
Run away,
Okay.
little girl.
This usually always happens, but depending on timing, you want to run in anyway. Oh, I screwed up my add-on, guys. Hold the fort. I'm gonna lose a little damage from not shooting a bow. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not gonna even worry about fixing it, but I was trying an add-on so that I shoot my bow or a crossbow, because I have a crossbow for PvP. All right, I'm gonna pull my combo points here.
Run away,
Okay,
little girl.
get out.
Run away.
I'm gonna pop all my CDs on the way in here. Oh, actually, I don't know what I did, but I'm able to shoot my bow now. Another sketchy kill, but whatever.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
Rip. I'm not gonna get my last eviscerate off. I'm going in for it. Who had the living bomb? I got living bombed. Oh, rip. Oh, I lose my elixirs? I don't know where they died with the living bomb, but I think I was in a safe. Rip. I got wrecked. I shouldn't have died there. Or I didn't do anything wrong there to die, but I mean, whatever. Stuff happens. Somebody screwed up with the living bomb, but I was in a fine position at the end. I just, you know, I died. Okay. Oh, that's the macro you use, BP? Yeah, I just didn't even use a... Oh, you can do a warn? Oh, that's sick. I'm going to copy paste that straight in, BP. My chat's lagging. Okay. Think I copy pasted too much, but that should be it. So I'll try this. Does this work? It didn't work. Show tooltip. Okay, let me try this. Oh, it works. I just needed an extra space in there. Yeah, it looks like it works. Sick. Thanks for the macro, BP. I just plugged it straight in. And it's working. So appreciate that. Do you have a Twitch? I do. It's in the description. And feel free to hang out in Twitch if you like. I read both chats. Do you pop Blade Fury or Adrenaline Rush first? I usually pop Adrenaline Rush first. And it depends on the tick timing, but I usually Adrenaline Rush right before my tick and then Blade Flurry. Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry are the same duration, but you want to pop Blade Flurry after so that you're Blade Flurried, especially on multiple targets, so that you're actually using the energy from Adrenaline Rush on the Blade Flurry. Whereas if you Blade Flurry first and then you Adrenaline Rush, you might like miss a tick or something, and you're gonna have less energy used during the flurry. I realized I missed a follow earlier. I don't think I shouted out Dibber. I might have shouted out Dibber, but I definitely didn't shout out Flank. I think it was during a boss. I said I would get to you, and I forgot. And thanks for the new follow, Heisenberger. All right, you got to hit the gym. Good luck on the Perds. Oh, thanks, Rave. Yeah, I would go with Zeal if you can get it that cheap. I think I had a good timing for a death, though. I mean, if I am going to die, might as well die on when my mongoose was about to run out. We're about an hour in. But I'm not going to count that towards my deaths since someone blew me up with Living Bomb. I'm going to still say I'm deathless in terms of because I try and go deathless each week, right? I'm not going to count that one since I don't think I did anything wrong there. But I'm still going to go for a deathless, self-enforced deaths, I guess, this week. Can you raid us up? You can raid us up. You will not do much damage, but you can do it if you want. What is your skill rotation for PvP when stealthed? It's kind of hard to quickly answer, Shishu, because you do a different opener depending on different classes and different specs. So if you're playing Chemo, you have a different opener versus playing Dagger. So yeah, it's definitely not ideal to play sub in raid. I think it's fine as long as you're not in a hardcore guild. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But most guilds are gonna require you to be raid spec if you are in a hardcore guild. Yeah, I honestly don't think there should be any issue raiding a PvP spec if you're in like a chill guild, because like at the end of the day, this stuff's easy. It's no big deal. But you know, some people are really big on like doing as much damage as humanly possible and making sure everyone's ideal. And they're saying how you're like betraying your entire raid if you don't show up in the perfect spec. I think those guys take the game a little too seriously, but I always show up in raid spec just because it's a guild requirement. How do you fight against warlocks? You have to have a shadow reflector. Okay, this is the guy. Let me see. Flame Guard's the one whose corpse flames. He's in a bad guild and they let him do it because he's a PS hero. I mean, I feel like most casual guilds should let you do it. It's really not that big of a deal, but a lot of people want, you know, make it mandatory to use consumes, mandatory to have the right spec. I wish it wasn't the case, just so I could spend more time like playing the game for fun. Whereas right now I have to dedicate a lot of time each week just to gold farming, just to make sure that I have enough gold to respec so that I can play the game. Right? Kind of sucks. I don't have a gear command. Let me see if it's still... Let me post this for you. I don't have a command set up yet, serious, but there's the gear. The point is that it's not bad. It's your serious guild. You won't have that option. Yep, I agree, Encore. But like, I wouldn't... It's like some people have the mindset of like, oh, if you're not raid spec in raid, you're like hurting your guild and you're really selfish and all this, and I don't know about that. But if it is required and the guild's trying to like min-max or whatever and trying to push bosses and all that, then obviously you wouldn't want to show up in pre-raid. How do you fight against warlocks? Oh yeah, but for warlocks you want to basically stun lock them. Sometimes you can just stun lock them and kill them, but if they are using Succubus, you have to Reflector the Seduce. If they're using the Voidwalker, you just have to do as much damage as possible. Hopefully blind and sap during their shield, their sack, so that they don't gain too much from that, but they might hold their sack till later. In that case, you just want to try and keep them stun locked, blind, sap, reset, go again, use all your CDs, and Shadow Reflector as soon as they come out of the stun lock. And then you can try and kick Feldom. It's pretty tough, but you can try and kick Feldom. The only thing is, if you use a global, you obviously can't. You just gotta hope that you have your the globals line up so you have an opportunity to kick Feldom, because it is a 0.5 second cast or whatever. You can kick it, but if you, like, for example, press a Sinister Strike or a Backstab and then they Feldom, then obviously you're in global, you can't kick it. But yeah, Warlocks are really hard. It's like the hardest matchup. That and Druids. Yeah, but generally you do them both, so it doesn't really matter. My guild requires PvE spec for MC, but not for Onyxia. I think that's nice. My guild requires PvE spec even for Onyxia, which really sucks because that means I have to full respec, pay 100 gold midweek sometimes, just so that we kill one boss, which is you know, easy anyway. So that's one of my biggest pet peeves of this guild, is that I have to be raid spec for Ani. It just costs me 100 gold a week sometimes. Okay. Is the 6-set Shadowcraft really worth it? It's definitely worth it pre-raid. I'm not on the hype that it's better than raid gear, but I think it's great pre-raid. Or you can be undead. Even if you're undead, you have to... it's still not a cakewalk against warlocks. They're pretty tough. You still might want Reflector to give you more immunity. How do you pull so many viewers with so few subs? Congrats, man. I don't know, man. Just turn on the stream and then I play the game. All right, I hate this fight. This fight sucks. Our guild has melee go in against Shazra. I'm probably gonna die. Probably gonna waste, you know, 10 gold of consumables down the drain. But you know, that'll be fun. Yeah, honestly, that's my least favorite thing about the guild, is that I have to respec for Ani. It really sucks. But yeah, this fight, pretty boring. I have to use Arcane Protection Potion, probably 1 to 2. If not 2 Arcane Protection Potions, I'm going to end up using a... I can Restopod here, I can Greater Arcane, or I can Major Healing. But you just have to hope you get heals on this fight or you're going to die. If you're dying on Shaz, then you guys need more DPS. Well, I'm melee, and like melee gets wrecked, and sometimes dispels don't go out. But yeah. What's the green scale buff you have? It's a strength juju. Juju power. Gives you 30 strength. There's other jujus you can get too. The attack power ones are really expensive though. They're like 4 gold or something for 10 minutes. But these are pretty decent. Pretty cheap. Alright, you guys need to remind me about my PvP gear, guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm not gonna use it. I have a sharpening stone. I should have poison on the offhand. It's just a minor thing, but... Okay. I'm gonna vanish just in case. I got dispelled. Am I gonna live? I'm definitely not posting Blood Rage this fight, by the way. Pop your CDs early on this guy. Looks like I might live here, honestly. I'm not gonna get too ahead of myself, but it's not looking too sketchy yet. This might be the first week I don't die on this guy. Should I wait for the... Oh, I got cleansed. I can go back in. I'm gonna just do a health potion. Make sure I don't die. Burn him down. Whew, nice speed to top deeps. Garbage. Oh, I forgot to loot the hand on Gehenna's. Rip. Maybe I can go back and do that. Hopefully we do a break or something at some point. I can go grab the hand of Gehenna's. I forgot to loot it. They don't seem to follow a strat. We do like, I don't know. I don't really pay attention because for melee you just run in. But for everyone else we like do an arc. We do an arc and then we have like tanks waiting to taunt when he teleports. But yeah, I finally lived through it. Oh, I need to lock this thing. World first survive. Yeah, man. I'm excited. I think maybe in all the weeks, I've maybe lived 1 time in this fight. And I had to run out and I had to bandage. And I had to use 2 arcane pots. Fury Warrior or Warrior will out-deep as a combat rogue. Fury Warriors out-damage rogues at endgame. So if you're just trying to do raid damage as much as possible, you can go for Fury Warrior then. Do you think 3 points in Relentlessness is valuable over the 2 in Murder and the 1 in Lethality? I'm honestly considering putting 2 more in Lethality and taking 2 from Ruthlessness as Dagger. I think that's what I would do when I respec again. I don't know about murder though. I don't know about murder because like Rags and Elemental, Baron Geddon, Gar, like half of the bosses it applies to. Gutgore is banned in most hardcore guilds. Gutgore doesn't really do anything in Molten Core. All the bosses are immune. I think it might be able to proc on one of the ads for these Flamewalker dude fights, maybe. But so far, my guild has, I think our tank, is he here? I think he came a little late today, but yeah, I think this guy, he's still using his Gutgore. So we have a tank with it, and I have it. We've had no issues with the Gutgore proc so far. Okay, we have melee stay out. Yeah, that'd be nice. That way I don't have to just like throw away a bunch of gold each week just for that fight when we don't need to. But yeah, I wish we had melee stay out. What do you find more fun about rogue DPS than warrior DPS? I don't pick my class based on PvE fun, I guess. I still think rogue is more fun than warrior for PvE, but I'm playing for PvP. I'm not a big raider. Okay, stay out of that corpse. But let me catch up since I was focusing on the boss. So bored without blacking whale RBGs. Yep, same. I'm already 8 out of 8 tier 1. Jeez, well, I mean, I'd be happy you have all the gear. Nothing to do, man. Yeah, that kind of sucks, but at least you've been fortunate with the looting process. It's probably not too bad. I feel like most hunters are decked out just because they're not as popular. All of our hunters are super geared too. We've had so much hunter loot. You shouldn't choose your class choice on DPS. Yeah, I don't think so. I do kind of like that I have a more interesting rotation than, for example, like Mage or Warlock. But yeah, I did not pick Rogue for raid DPS. Okay. Didn't realize you were also on Incendius. Yeah, I am on Incendius, John. What do you find more fun? Okay, yep. I don't know why they don't do that. Last time they did MC, they had like 70% raid melee, so maybe now they're in the same position. Yeah, we still have a lot of melee, but we typically have pretty old school strats. I don't really mind it. They're usually pretty safe, but there's a couple fights where I think we could improve on, but whatever. I mean, I don't really mind that much. Okay. Just got your Bloodfang pants last week. Congrats, man. The pants are really good. They're the best piece of like individual gear. I think they're a little better than the helm if you're an engineer because you don't swap out. Like right now, it's a little awkward that like in PvP sometimes I swap out my Bloodfang hood for like an engineering helmet, like the rocket helmet and stuff. So that's why I think the pants are a little better than the Bloodfang head, just because you swap out the pants. You never do swap them out. But yeah, what's my FR at? 95? That's not bad. Why would you not get 5x5 Master of Deception? Yeah, I don't... I might go a spec with Master of Deception, Salungqua. The problem is if you're playing daggers, this talent's really good. So if you're going to have to basically rework a spec to get both of them, because it's too much. You can't give up 20% backstab and ambush. So it makes it really hard to fit both in. Usually if you're fast from camo, it's still alright, but yeah, with World PvP I could see wanting Master of Deception. The problem is you're definitely not going to be able to get Cold Blood if you go for Master of Deception. And you're definitely not going to be able to, or you'd have to like sacrifice backstab. So yeah, ideally I'd love to get Master of Deception, but it's kind of hard to fit into the Rogue spec. You can't, yep, you can't get both without giving up stuff, yep. When you have your tier gear, you will put the health Libram on it? Oh, for PvP? I was gonna get the, agility Libram on the head. That was my current plan. Legs, I haven't really thought about because I don't have good legs yet, or at least Libram-worthy legs. I could still Libram up the Shadowcraft legs, to be honest, but I'll wait until I at least can afford the one for the head. I'm using Hemosaurs at the moment. It's really good. Got double dows. Yep. Hemoswords is really good. It's a lot of fun. You just build combo points really fast. Definitely a fun spec as well. Librams take up the buff spots. Are you talking about the attack speed? I don't think any of them. Is there any Librams that apply a proc that take up a buff slot? Which Libram are you guys talking about that takes up a buff slot? Won the tier 1 helm last week as a rogue, but I think T2 looks way better. Yeah, T2 looks really cool. I'm doing everything HP besides Bloodfang Hood. Thought about it, and I think that's best. Yeah, I need to Libram stuff up. I have not done that yet, but still kind of poor. What does this say? What is this? I don't know what add-on this is, but I don't know what this means. A mount to pick up? Oh, it's probably like a auction house add-on? That's weird. Is using an improved sprint backstab build with improved vis? Yep, that's really good. Two points in endurance, 5 of 5. Interesting. Which one's endurance? I always forget the names. Oh, there's endurance, yeah. Interesting. So, do you get prep? Casey, you probably don't have that many assassination talents then, right? I guess you don't get relentless strikes or ruthlessness in favor of all those combat talents. And you definitely, I mean, you probably don't have opportunity. Attack speed Librams sim just a few DPS lower than the agility Librams. Yeah, but the attack speed ones aren't as good in PvP. The Librams, okay, so there's like a bug on a hit scope that like takes up a slot or something, but the Librams are fine. I'm in Onslaught, we're not allowed to get those enchants because they... Okay, so there may or may not be a bug with Librams taking up a buff slot, but it's a bug. Okay, good to know. Okay, you do have opportunity. Okay, but you only have 8 in here. Yeah, so you miss out on Relentless, you miss out on Lethality, and then you obviously can't get Cold Blood. Interesting. Yeah, you probably can't get Improved Sap. Just scoped your Angerforge solo run and subscribe. Thanks, Max. Keep up the good work. Yeah, for the Horde, yeah. You know, for the Horde, of course. I don't even have an Alliance character. That's how dedicated I am. Haven't even thought about playing Alliance. Why do you put 1 point improved poison in your PvP spec? I mean, you could put it in improved expose armor. The improved expose armor, I literally only press expose armor. I don't think I ever press expose armor as a dagger rogue, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't think there's a single matchup, because against mages, I do the cheap shot sap, but I don't expose armor. Yeah, I don't think there's any matchup where I press expose armor as a dagger rogue. So that's why I went with improved poisons. Don't miss your jumps. Yeah, well, Jay, you have plenty of time to hit the jumps. If you, once you get used to it and you know where he's positioned, you can, like, I think I've missed like 3 jumps in a row before and still not died on anger. So you just have to get used to the jumps and when to jump and everything, and you'll be pretty safe. Good luck with Purd. Yeah, I'm hoping for a Purd, man. That's the goal tonight. You want the IG Librams due to crit over haste? Haste Librams worth of effort in your opinion? The haste Librams I think would be fine if you're just a full raider, but I prefer the agility, because if I am going to go ahead and enchant it up, I might as well just do the better one for PvP. Your guild prioritizing Purd for warriors. Yeah, that really does suck. I've heard a couple guilds doing that. It's kind of sad. What building gear Xsmoke has? I think Xsmoke's running like identical build. They have hit gear. They're not using Shadowcraft, but they do have a whirl buff and a little more consumes. So, but I think besides that, I think we're pretty close. Let's see. Yeah, they have Alcors, Corehound Tooth, and then just standard. I guess they have a belt too. I forgot they got the belt. Yeah, so they like one more piece of raid gear than me, but they're running the non-Shadowcraft set. Shot in the dark, but I imagine the cost. Nope. Nope. Xsmoke is playing daggers. Macro your sap with stop attack so you don't clip the auto attack. I've literally, you don't even have to do that. I've never broken a sap with an auto attack, ever. Not once. There is a macro that, oh, I still haven't tried it actually. One of you guys gave me a really nice macro that I still need to try for cheap shot right here. Where apparently it like clears the target but doesn't clear the combo points. And it helps you to not break your sap. But that's the part where you want to worry about breaking your sap when you're cheap shotting against a mage. But you don't need to worry about that just regularly sapping. But yeah, I'm pretty consistently the top DPS in the guild at the moment. I mean, there's always going to be variance in fights and stuff, and if I screw up something, you know, maybe that it, but usually it's just, you know, if I have a lot of Shadowcraft procs, I'm at the top by a lot. If I don't have any procs, sometimes I'm below people. There's kind of variance, but we're all pretty close in damage. A lot of the rogues in this guild are very good. So we have a lot of good rogues. And we're all usually pretty close on the raid fights. Earning tons of world PvP, 5/5 Master Deception, 2/2 Heightened Sense is a must. I mean, I think that could be true for world PvP. And that might be why I try a new build this week. So I think I might try a new build this week that doesn't go for Cold Blood. Yeah, the CS macro had stop attack. Yep, it's because when you sap and then cheap shot, you actually don't want to break the sap. You want to just build combo points. So that's why, Carl. Yeah, I was trying to, basically you don't need a macro for the sap, you need the macro for the cheap shot if you're doing the strat. Alright guys, this is where we pray, guys. Start your prayers. We're praying that we are not assigned to Moon and Star. Praying. Please. Please don't assign me to Moon and Star. Usually we have kick assignments as rogues. And I'm really hoping I don't get assigned to Moon and Star. Moon and Star just means I can't do damage. Never lucky. Never lucky, guys. Never lucky. Yeah, this is going to be like my overall, I'm not really, I don't really care too much about parses, but overall, this fight always screws up my average parse for the week because I'm assigned to this Flame Waker Priest that our druid has to try and tank 2 mobs. It's the only one of these mobs that we have a tank on 2. And for whatever reason, I just instantly pull aggro every single week. You can watch this fight from last week. I'm going to sit still for 30 seconds. I'm going to press backstab and I'm going to pull aggro immediately. And it's going to suck. And I'm not going to do any damage.
5, 4.
But yeah, I hate this
3,
fight.
2, 1.
I just can't do any damage. But yeah, I still can't attack. I'm going to give them like 10. Look, they're just so happy to... Alright, well, how much threat? The threat add-on really does not say he has much. Alright. I already pulled. I have to stop damage. I tried to pop cooldowns. Alright. I'm just gonna YOLO it. I might die. I'm popping evasion. I got my kick off. Did I get my kick off? I might have screwed up my kick, honestly. Okay, someone else kick this time. Alright, we're good. But yeah, this fight sucks. Not really a lot I can do. Just because of a threat situation. Why doesn't your guild AoE them down? I don't know. We do it old school, man. We have a lot of old school strats, but what I can tell you is we have never wiped. So, never wiped on this fight, so we might not do it as fast. Hey, so we can still slice and dice here. There's still a decent amount of time left in the fight. So, they're safe strats. Which, I mean, it's nice at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter how fast you kill it as long as you don't lose your buffs and everything. Ooh, sick. More shoulders. Good luck on the purge. Just got a round tooth. Congrats, man. You don't thistle tea on bosses? I thistle tea on every boss. I just forgot that one. I usually thistle tea with my CDs, but I don't know if you noticed that fight. I popped all my cooldowns, basically, and then I pulled aggro. And so usually I T with my cooldowns. So once I popped all my cooldowns, in my head I was like, okay, I've used all my CDs. Nothing left. Because I usually T with my cooldowns. But since I held the T, because I was worried about aggro, I forgot. So, but yeah, I should have T'd there. But yeah, I just forgot on that one. I should have pressed it. Yeah, I don't get the shoulders, unfortunately. But yeah, I hate that fight. I hate that fight because I'm just constantly just kind of standing still. No one rolling on the shoulders. We loot council all the gear. So it's right now it's a round robin. And X-Smoke gets the shoulders. So they're up for the shoulders. They wanted the shoulders, so they get the shoulders. No weapon swing timer. I don't use weapon swing timer as daggers power. I've found that with Shadowcraft, I end up just losing damage because I try and time the auto attacks, and I end up waiting to use my abilities, and I end up wasting energy from Shadowcraft. So that's the reason I don't use a weapon swing timer. It's only because I'm using Shadowcraft, and otherwise I would use it for Wind Fury. But once I get rid of my Shadowcraft, I'll start using weapon swing timer again on daggers. It's obviously a much bigger deal on swords. But that's... Well, and Black Hand's Breath, why do you use Hodge? I usually use these trinkets. Black Hand's Breath and Hodge. Let me see what you're saying. With the DM trinket, why do you use Hodge? Hodge, okay, so Hodge is better than the DM trinket in terms of just damage. The extra auto attack is useful with Shadowcraft because you can get an extra proc. Over time, the extra auto attack is just it's just more damage than the 2% hit. Yeah, weapon swing timer is not as big a deal. On Alliance side, you literally don't have to do it. It's only for Wind Fury that you do the weapon swing timer on Horde side. But as Alliance, you literally don't have to. I've heard some people saying, they've been saying some weird stuff, like that if you press backstab at the wrong time, it can like screw up your auto attack. I mean, that's just not the case. You can pull out a swing timer. You can wait till right before you auto attack, and then you press backstab. It's not going to cancel your auto attack. I don't know who came up with that stuff. But yeah. The only reason you want to use your weapon swing timer is for Wind Fury and then like sword spec stuff. It's not because you're worried about your auto attacks getting canceled by your abilities or any of that nonsense. Okay, put our FR back in. I rated 2 weeks ago with 6-set Hodge / breath, and your DPS was considerably lower than with using... honestly, if you can... if you have like logs or something, Kyle, to you know, maybe for your character that's better. Maybe you're not soft hit capped, but pretty much every It's probably just RNG or something else, because I don't really see any any rogue lists or anything really saying that the seal is better than the Hodge. And in my experience, the Hodge is better. So I don't know what to tell you, other than it's probably just something else, and that I would use Hodge. What do you mean by Wind Fury? So basically, Wind Fury weapon from the Shaman Totem. If you backstab and it procs Wind Fury, it resets your auto attack timer, the extra attacks from Wind Fury, so you can get a slight DPS boost by backstabbing right after an auto attack. In case you get a Wind Fury proc, it won't cancel your upcoming auto attack. So that's why you could use a weapon swing timer as a dagger rogue with Wind Fury. But in my case, I found that it's just, especially while streaming, it's a lot to focus on to do the swing timer, and I ended up just waiting too long to use my backstabs, and then I would proc Shadowcraft and waste energy. So I found that it just overall lowered my DPS to use a swing timer. But once I get rid of Shadowcraft, I'll probably go back to using a swing timer. Hodge is bit. Yep, Hodge is bit for a long time. Nope, died on Lucy with full buffs both weeks. Rip. Hunter's Warriors can clip with aimed heroic. Maybe they're confused. Yeah. So it's definitely a Hunter Warrior thing. But I've seen a couple people like saying, "Oh yeah, you definitely got to backstab, or it'll screw up your autos." And like on the comments on my raid DPS video, and I was like, "What are they talking about?" Yeah, last pull before boss here. Make sure to swap out all my gear out of the fire res. Any good BOE main hand daggers? Yeah, Shadowfoot Stabber. Shadowfoot Stabber, or if you have a lot of money, you can do Heartseeker. Okay. Have you tried Seal Fate? How did it feel? I have not tried it yet. Maybe at some point I'll try it. Maybe next week's raid, but I've been just trying to do as much damage as possible for now. And I think I'm pretty far away from having enough crit for Seal Fate to be good. Shadowcraft set really worth not having Devil Sword? Yep, I would say the set bonus is significantly better than 2% hit. Just make sure you don't lose your soft hit cap. 3 minutes, huh? Guess I'll Juju just in case. Okay, I'm buffed up. Yeah, those are good suggestions, Carl, but I would use Shadowfoot Stabber over Barman's for PvP because the proc is really bad in PvP. You wouldn't try Seal Fate unless you're, yeah, most of tier 1 really decked out, yeah. Especially like I'm playing Shadowcraft right now. Shadowcraft, I mean, it has a lot of agility. Oh, I almost forgot. Okay, we should be good now. All right, I'm geared. Almost forgot to swap my gear. Once I get daggers, I'm gonna try Seal Fate 27% as combat swords. Oh, I don't know about Sealed Fate as combat swords. I don't know about that one, man. Sealed Fate as combat swords. Interesting. But let me I'm gonna focus on this boss real quick, and easy, tank and spank, close your eyes, just damage, fight's super easy.
Five, 4, 3.
I stay right
2,
behind the tank,
1.
trying to get in as soon as possible. Okay, he has taunt, feint. He's doing good on threat. I'm gonna vanish early. I should be good. Waiting for Crusader proc now to use all my CDs. Now I'm just chilling for Crusader. Not much else. Just making sure I don't screw up anything in terms of like combo points or backstabs or whatever. But just waiting for Crusader. No Crusader yet. I'm gonna wait. No, I have to go now. Alright, so I'm popping CDs. I unfortunately didn't get a Crusader proc in time. So wanted to make sure that I got my cooldowns off. And so no Crusader this time. So I held T a little bit, hoping for Crusader, but I'm just going to use it now. Still no Crusader. Okay, I did pretty good. But yeah, no Crusader, unfortunate. Got another Mage Blade, sick. Yeah, the Mage Blades are really great because it's a huge thing for the casters. I have 266 unbuffed at the moment. Yeah, if your daggers, usually your crit's a little higher because you have the dagger proc. But yeah. Okay, what's your attack power? My attack power right now is 1022, but that's with Battle Shout. So Battle Shout, Juju's, Elixir Mongoose, and Gift of the Wild. So a lot of buffs. No Wind Fury for the whole fight. Rip. Yeah, I don't really have time to focus on some of that stuff, but yeah, sometimes it just happens. But yeah, those are like the things that I don't really worry about because yeah, I mean maybe I top DPS if I have Wind Fury that fight, but I don't really think about it. I just try and do my best on the fight, and I think that fight I did fine. I tried to wait for my Crusader. I didn't get the proc, and I think I waited a good amount of time, but then I think I made a good decision to just use my CDs. So I think I played the fight fine. So I'm not really too bothered that like I didn't have Wind Fury or whatever. Yeah, 60. Yeah, without combat dagger spec, 26% too low. Yep. Yeah, Seal Fate, you need a lot of crit. Would you be mad if Guild doesn't let you roll on Quick Strike Ring? I mean, it already dropped and I wasn't allowed to roll on it. It's Warrior Prior because it is strength. I mean, there's just some things you have to be ready for. Like I did not roll on Band of Curia or the Agility Cloak or I wasn't allowed to roll on any of those or Quick Strike Ring, but I was able to roll on an Ixia Tooth Pendant. So it just depends on the order of when you're allowed to roll on things. So maybe your guild lets you roll on the Band of Acuria, but not the Ixia Tooth Pendant right away. But at the end of the day, you'll get your loot eventually. I'm more focused on the high impact items like the weapons and stuff. All right, my buffs seem good. I'm gonna go ahead and instant. Well, I guess I'll instant poison just in case. It's not gonna be a 5-minute fight, but why not? I'm gonna replace that though. Does your guild have a dedicated hunter with wolf pet for melee DPS? There is a hunter in my group right now. I don't know if he has a wolf. I think most of the hunters that had wolves switched it out for cats. Where is our... So one of our 3 hunters has a wolf. I think they swapped him out for cats. Did you get Corehound Tooth with the drops? I think, but I'd rather it not drop and Purd drop. If Corehound Tooth doesn't drop and then Purd drops, I think I have Purd. But if Corehound Tooth drops, then I get Corehound Tooth, and then I might not get Purd. So I'd rather have Purd, but yeah, if Corehound Tooth drops, that'd be sick too, obviously. How are you getting a 5% ring if all the warriors and hunters have priority over the rogues? I'm going to be allowed to roll on the Quick Strike once the warriors have it, and I'll be able to roll on the Accurate after the hunters have it. But yeah, it's going to take a while. Yeah, it could take a year. But hey, at least I'm not in a guild where the daggers go to the warriors, right? So you can't have everything. I'm fine with it. I got my neck. Our rogues are getting the necks, so the neck's really good still too. How do you feel about a tank getting Corehound Tooth over dagger? Kind of sucks. I think they should, if they want to do daggers for tanks, I would just like have them do Gut Gore. Because Gut Gore, the rogues, no rogue is really going to mind if the tank gets Gut Gore. So that's what our guild did. We gave Gutgore 2 tanks and let rogues roll on the good daggers. I think that's really nice. You got purred 10 weeks ago, and our first Ground Tooth went to a rogue for main hand, ... Rogue, I don't disagree with that, Kyle. I don't think that you should get purred and Corehound Tooth before someone else's main hand, especially if they've been in the guild just as long. Corehound Tooth is a good main hand. Corehound Tooth is not that fast. It's 1.6, and it's a raid weapon, so it actually is. It hits pretty hard, so it's really not that bad of a main hand. In fact, it's actually just as good. This is going to seem crazy. It's just as good as Gutgore Ripper, the Corehound Tooth, in terms of PvE DPS, because the stats and stuff outweigh the fact that Gutgore does more weapon damage. So, believe it or not, Corehound Tooth is actually a really good main hand too. Okay, I am on star. So basically, in this fight, I can't use Vanish for DPS, which kind of sucks. But and I have a stealth. I have like a special rogue assignment where I have to Vanish, Cheap Shot, Kidney, a healer to make it easy to get him under control. Yeah, three in 10 weeks. Yeah. So for example, I think this is either the 7th. I think this is like the 7th week of Molten Core for our guild, and we've seen one Corehound Tooth, 0 birds. So it's been rough. It's been rough. But yeah, it always makes me kind of sad when warriors are getting daggers over rogues. It's like, come on, man. The warriors already get everything. They're already going to have, the tanks are already going to have all of the jewelry first, all the rings, all the necks, the striker's mark first. They're going to have like uncontested full tier 1, tier 2 so quickly. Why do the warriors also need the Corehound Tooth? It's ridiculous. You've seen 7 purrs in 10 weeks? I'm jelly. 4 in a row drop? Yeah, we haven't seen one yet. Tanks in your guild took Perdition. Yeah, that sucks, man. Because, like, the tanks just, they already get everything. Dude, they really need literally every item. They're going to have full tier gear. Oh, my food's about to expire. We took so long. Hopefully I get it off in time. How many Sulfuron ingots have you had drop? 0. 0 ingots. Actually, maybe ingots. I don't pay attention. They're not legendary, right? They're just purple. I don't really pay attention to the ingots. We actually just got one. So yeah, I'm definitely not paying attention because I didn't realize we had one. So don't know about them. 0 bindings though. We had 3 Breeze with no warriors interested in rank 14. I think we have, our guild leader wants the Bree. Oops, I might have just bumped the mic. Sorry guys. You rolled strikers and sniped. All right, I guess we're just waiting for the pull here. But after this, to rag. I want that purred. I want that purred. But yes, I raid with the same people every week. Yeah, man. Our guild hasn't done split runs yet. I kind of want to do split runs because we have a lot of rogues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We only have 6 this week though, which is pretty good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, just run right in. Hopefully we can pull them off the coals. Okay, I shouldn't even have to feint here. Just backstab, keep up slice and dice. Simple damage. Okay, stop damage. Get a quick bandage in. While the melee reflect is up. Melee reflect. Get up our slice and dice again. I guess I'm holding my CDs for the ranged guys, which is fine. We didn't end up grouping any of these, so I can't get any cleaving. Alright, I'm on star, I believe. Just double check. I'm on star. That's my assignment. Where is star? I do not see star. There's star. Alright, so I do a little stun lock. I'm popping CDs right now, see if I can get a little cleave action. How'd I pull aggro? There's nothing I could do here. I gotta faint. Please don't kill me. Oh, it's unfortunate. Man, I did a full stun lock and they still weren't able to get the... Rip. Yeah, so basically it's my assignment to stun this guy, and rather than running back to skull, I just want to kill this guy, but unfortunately we didn't have aggro ready, so I basically just blew my cooldowns for nothing. Unfortunate, but whatever. Alright, damage shield, I'm gonna stop. And there we go. Is there one more? No, that's it. Okay. Alright, but yeah, I mean, I think I did. There's nothing I really could have done there. But just another, again, some fights you have assignments and you're not able to do full damage, so whatever. But yeah, they have me vanish cheap shot just so the bosses don't run around like crazy. Nice. These shoulders are so sick. Gloves, the hypnotic flame. Okay, nothing for me. That's fine. Watching this while you do pickpocket runs, that's the way to do it, man. This week you don't have a kick responsibility. I had a kick responsibility on Sulfuron, and I had a vanish cheap shot responsibility on that fight. Okay. Oh, you have superstitions? Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me that like the raid ID, whoever enters the dungeon, the group leader, like affects the loot. And that like if you have the same person enter as the leader each time, you get more loot. Which honestly, I don't know, guys. We haven't seen a Perd yet. We've seen the legs. This might be legit. We've seen these legs like every week. Dragonstalker legs. I think we've disenchanted it 3 times. I think we've disenchanted Dragonstalker legs 3 times, and we have 3 hunters. So there might be something behind that like the raid leader seeds the loot, and then you just get the same thing every time. But yeah, oof, over to Rag. This is where it gets fun. This is where it gets fun. The Raggy. Who got the Mage Blade? I wasn't paying attention. I need to inspect some people after this. When I'm streaming, I don't really keep up with the loot too much. Fingers crossed for me, man. I'm hoping for the Perd, man. I'm hoping for the Perd. If it drops, I am told that I have priority on it. So it just needs to drop. It just needs to drop, and I think I should walk out of here with a Perd, which would be sick. Just want to throw a quick idea out there. Do you think you'll make a video about consumables? Probably not. Consumables are pretty Googleable. The only real insight I could have on the consumes is just like which ones you shouldn't get because they're too expensive. That's pretty much it. But I would go to the auction house, pull up a consume list, and just search them. Most of them are BOEs, they don't bind on pickup. Do you guys down Rag before submerge? Yep. Pretty easily. But yeah, I don't know if I can add too much on the consumes. I just look it up, man, to be honest. It's pretty simple. You just depends how much you're willing to spend. Only take 5 rogues and only 2 are dagger specs, so get your daggers eventually, got your core. That's nice, man. As a myth, you think that's a myth, all that craziness with like the seeding? I think it's BS too, but with that said, we have seen like 6 straight Dragonstalker legs. So, I don't know. It's pretty unlikely. It's pretty unlikely. You got Prion Perds too, just haven't seen one yet? Yeah. Do you usually beat casters on Rag? No, I usually don't beat casters on Rag. Usually I lose to mages. I think I'm usually behind mages. I think I'm usually top 5 each week in Rag. It's just I usually don't beat the mages. Because they don't have to... unless they get hit by stuff and knocked back, they don't have to move. I think it's going to be pretty hard to out DPS a ranged. Unless you just have way more gear. Yeah, you have to stop DPS so often. What's your opinion on DKP versus Loot Council? I prefer Loot Council. I think DKP introduces a lot of complexity. A lot of like... There's a lot of strategies and stuff that you can use to try and like get the most out of the DKP, and a lot of it comes down to luck. So you can like risk losing priority on items to get gear early, but then if like good items drop, you get screwed. Basically, I think DKP is just a mess in my opinion, unless you have Loot Council on all the high priority items. So I really don't like DKP. I think it's just, I just like being, okay, I'm gonna raid, and I know ahead of time where the items are going, and I'm just gonna raid, and that's it. And I don't like, you know, having to bid and do all this drama over points and like bidding and like trying to mind game other people, where I want to try and make sure that I'm ahead on the DKP, but then if you do that, you don't have any loot. I don't really like DKP. Okay. Our guild has had 5 mage, yeah, a lot of mage. We had a lot of mage blades too. I think 3 mage blades. All right, so I just run straight up to my spot in the fight and get consumed up. Always wait to drink your fire potion until after you cross the water. Drink it now. Get a keybind ready. I already popped my potion, so I'm gonna run all the way around. They want me to group up for buffs, so I'm gonna go run over there and do that. But I already drank my fire prot, so I have to go the long way. Yep, my guild is DKP right now, and it's a mess. We're gonna Loot Council at Blackwing Lair. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it introduces just so many variables, and it's just a lot of work to keep track of everything, and a lot of just, I don't like having to try and metagame for the gear and all this. Because then you have issues too, where then you have to make sure, at that point, you have to make sure that people aren't rolling on items that aren't good for them in a DKP system, and at that point you might as well just Loot Council if you're not going to let certain people roll on stuff. What's the difference between DKP and EPGP? One of them like decreases rapidly, and the other you can stock up. So one of them has like a decay on it, so that you can't just sit on DKP forever. What's the deal with the Loot Council add-on? Basically, it just makes it easier to declare like if you want the item, just so that they, you know, they don't exclude anyone, right? So I think the add-on, I don't use it, but I think it just says like, yes, you need it. It's a minor upgrade or something, and then pass. I think are the options. It basically just makes sure that no one's forgotten when they're doing Loot Council decisions. But yeah, for Rag, basically you want to pop your 2-minute cooldowns really early in the fight so that you get them back at the end if the fight goes 2 minutes. And you want to pop all your cooldowns right after you come in from, I guess, a melee out, I guess you would call it, like, you know, where you run out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Rag. You just listen to your group. They're going to say, like, melee out, and then I'm going to come out. I don't really watch the DBM. I just listen to comms, and I wait for them to tell me when to get out. And if they screw up, I'll die, but just one less thing I have to worry about. Our guild has been raiding for a month and already had both bindings, and all druids or rogues are almost geared. Yeah, I just, like, a lot of our warlocks, druids, shamans, hunters are really decked out. But our rogues just have gotten nothing. Can you list your previous streams? Yeah, if you go on Twitch, All of my VODs are on Twitch. You can get them there. But we'll see. Hoping for that Perd. Hoping for that Perd. Actually, wait. Can I scroll up and see how many times I've killed Domo? I think my add-on tells me, right? 7 victories. Okay, good. So this is gonna be my 7th time killing Rag. So I was right on how many attempts I've had. Okay, one of the rogues in my group has 5-piece tier 1, Viscag, Brute, both pieces tier. You don't have a single piece. Yeah, that I guess your guild gears up 1 player at a time. That kind of sucks. That does not seem like a good deal. So I would be concerned if I was in that position. We had 7 out of 8 shaman, 6 out of 8 priest, leave because they got benched once. I mean, that kind of sucks, but at the same time, like I wouldn't. If there was no reason for the bench, I might leave the guild too. Like if I get benched when I'm doing good DPS, I would be like, yeah, I'm out of here. What's your Twitch? You go through a follow. It's in the description, Bobby, and I appreciate that. It's just Zatar WoW. Zatar_WoW, but links in the description. Yeah, all the suspense, man. Let's pull this thing. I'm ready for the Perd. We just have a situation where core raiders get prior on certain items, and he was the only core raider in the group for like 2 weeks and got lucky. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense, Kyle. Yeah. That seems fine. Most of your rogues have main hand yet. That seems alright. Thanks for the follow, Dankster. Thanks for the follow, Novocaine. That was 7 minutes ago. I might have missed it. Might have been in the boss fight. Using Shadowcraft still? I am. Haven't gotten any upgrades in the meantime, so. Fingers, yeah, man. Fingers crossed. Hope for that Perd. I think it's the only thing I'm allowed to get from the fight. Maybe they'll let me roll in the cloak for PvP. Dude, start this thing. You want to sleep? Yeah, it's not my option. We're starting it though. We're going. All right, just double check. Everything equipped good. My consumes are good. Quick last second sharpening stone. Not even. I'm prepared. Don't worry about it. All right, here we go, guys. You're entertaining me on your lunch break. I'm glad, Angstar, but I'm glad. Hopefully we can get a Perd. Perd time? Maybe I'm allowed to roll on tier 2 legs. That'd be cool. But
5,
here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we just wait. Wait for the first knockback. Wait for melee in call. Melee in. Okay. Popping my 2-minute cooldowns right away. That was a pretty quick. Ready. Guess we're going back in. Why are people getting whacked? Oh. Is it just threat? Man, I would have liked to have popped CDs there because I had a Crusader proc, but threat was kind of a concern. All right, I'm not slice and dicing, holding my combo points, waiting for the call to melee in. Okay, we're waiting for the tank. Guess we're moving in. Okay. Popping my CD now for Adrenaline Rush. This is terrible timing. Our tank died, and I just Adrenaline Rushed. so I can't use any backstabs. Oh, it's so unlucky. Yeah, I vanished, but then I got popped by something at the end. I had bandages and stuff, but I just didn't have much time to react. If I didn't get hit by the elemental fire, could have vanished, but I don't think I pulled aggro. I think the knockout just happened earlier. So, unfortunate fight, honestly. I don't think I could have done anything differently. I vanished pretty quick there, but our call to melee out was just a little late. And so I died. It's a dot, yeah. It's probably from his melee swings, right? Yeah, this thing. It actually hits so hard. But yeah, if I was a little faster with pot there, maybe could have lived. I tried to start a bandage, but just died. How long did it take you to get the Shadowcraft chest? I got pretty lucky with the Shadowcraft chest, to be honest. I probably haven't done that many full Ubers runs. But yeah. I died on Rag though. I've been doing really good on Rag in the past weeks. I could have just preliminarily vanished just so a different melee DPS would have died there. We have a submerge because everyone just died. You can always pre-vanish if you're going to phase 1 kill. Well, yeah, we usually do phase 1 kill, but just I don't know what happened this week, but just all the melee started dying. Like even really early on in the fight, people started dying. Not looking good, yeah. We haven't wiped in a while on this guy, but we have a lot of banishes. We have warlocks. Oh, that's not. He's in trouble. Oh, I got the faint death up. Man, I like the fights though where they get sketchy like this. I wish I was alive because you get to. It's like, you know, it's fun when things don't go as planned and you're able to improvise and all that. But yeah, boss just randomly started whacking melee. All rogues died. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been telling me that just like every week all their melee die. Tell me a bit about the sharpening stones. I use sharpening stones on Rag because he's immune to poisons. I could use the elemental ones, but they're expensive and I keep forgetting to buy them. So I just used a crappy sharpening stone, but it's better than nothing. And it's helpful for the offhand since poisons don't do anything. But I think we're finishing off the last ones. And then alright, here comes the boss. At 6%, they're just going to burn him down. So we should be good here. And I think we have the other ones banished. So we just need 6% damage. We just need people to... This warrior should be going ham. Get those executes out, Big H. That's what your guild says. 3 rags down before submerge. Yeah, we pretty much always kill them before submerge. It's just this week we just had a lot of people die. Is that true, Bear? Yeah, we have a tank bear. Vanished and faint off CD, but if you faint off CD, you're just gonna do like 0 damage. I mean, we're already sitting out half the fight, so threat shouldn't be an issue because you're literally not attacking. That might explain why I die sometimes when I'm nowhere near deploying threat. I think it might be bugged. I know the knockback drops aggro, but like realistically speaking, we're sitting out like half the fight. I really feel like threat shouldn't be an issue, so it might be a bug or something, or just randomly kills, but yeah, guys, the Perd. Is it in there? No Perdition, guys. No Perdition. Tier 2 legs, though. RIP. According to the raid chat, no Perditions. Feint on CD will make you do 0 damage. Yeah, you really only want to feint like at the very start of fights where threat is an issue. There's very few fights where you're really feinting that much. You do 500 DPS on Ani with feint on CD. Well, yeah, but you would do more damage if you didn't press feint on CD. Your melee die because they're standing closer to Rag than the tank is? You think it's like a proximity thing? Interesting. Maybe it's a proximity thing or something. But yeah, usually I try and stay as far away from Rag as possible. I don't think I was really thinking about it this time, so I might have been closer than usual, but... yeah, I'll get rezzed and check the loot for sure, but it doesn't look like we have a Perd. Looks like just tier 2 pants. If both tanks are out of range after knockback, he will just start pummeling melee instead. Yeah, the tank wasn't... so at some point, that's the whole point of the melee out thing. There was a point in time where the tank was on the boss but wasn't getting attacked. But yeah, these cloaks go to hunters first. So I can't roll on this thing. Alright, let's see what we got here. Cloak, Wrath Legs, Bloodfang Pants, no Perd. RIP. Melee DPS doesn't pull threat unless we get really close to Rag. Yeah, interesting. Maybe it is a proximity thing. The legs would go nice with your head. Well, there's no set bonus yet, right? It's 3 set. So it would just it would just be a style thing. I don't know. All that cheese. Someone's been in BRD. I got the cheese actually from Strat Undead from opening the crates. I have so much cheese. What fire res does your tank have? If they get knocked back, he'll select the next one. Yeah, that's why we're running out. So like the knockback wasn't the reason we were dying. We were dying because of something else. Because whenever there was a knockback, we would run out. So it was something else there. Got your Perd last Monday. Grats, Rose. Rolling with 6 set Shadowcraft and Devil Sword. When do you start switching out the gear? You can swap out Devil Sword once you have basically, if you have all the Shadowcraft, you can swap out Devil Sword once you get 2 good raid pieces. And then once you get like 4 to 5, you can swap out all Shadowcraft. You can swap back in Devil Sword. Okay. Yeah, the tank can resist it. Our tank, I think, is like max FR. Where is he? Where is the tank? Tar. I think he has like max FR. Yeah, like he has everything FR. He has the FR rings and everything. Look how much FR this guy has. He has so much FR. So yeah, our tank definitely has every single FR piece it looks like possible. You're not rolling? We're not rolling on the pants. They're getting loot counseled. I don't know who gets them. Probably not me. Considering they're not my bags right now. Okay. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I don't think... you guys can ask questions if you want. I think I'm going to call it here. Maybe I'll do some PvP tomorrow, but it was a good Molten core. Normally we do Onyxia, but we killed it earlier this week. I think I'm doing Onyxia tomorrow. So I'll be on for Onyxia. He just said roll for them. Yeah, but then you notice nobody rolled. So he said roll for him, and then he gave him to like our rogue leader, and then the rogue leader's going to give him to someone. So, but yeah, I saw that, Alvin. But I'm going to do Onyxia tomorrow, so I'll be there. Same time as I started today. I'll maybe do some PvP at some point tomorrow as well. I'll respec. And after Onyxia raid. And yeah, that'll be it. Are the pants on someone? Trying to figure out who the pants have gone to. I don't know if I should leave yet. All the rogues are kind of just sitting here. Let me see. Click on the rogues, see if someone has the pants. As soon as they equip them, I can leave. I just... Okay, we can be PvP spec for Onyxia. Sick. I might respec tonight then. Now that phase 2's out, I guess. Anyone have the legs? No one has the legs. He doesn't have the legs. There's just confusion amongst the rogues. Who has the legs? Can we leave? Oh. Miss. Click. Just want to make sure this guy didn't think I was like trading to try and get them in case he has the pants. I didn't want to randomly trade the dude and just like him feel like I'm trying to get something from him because we're doing loot. But yeah, I have no clue if I'm going to get the legs. I have no clue where they are. A little bit of confusion at the moment, but thanks for watching, guys. For PPT switch counts, yep, I'm gonna replace. I do have Hodge, Victor. Any last questions, guys, before I check out? I'm actually, I don't know what the loot situation is at the moment. Yeah, I didn't want to like trade the dude, implying like, hey buddy, give me the pants. That's what I mean. So that's why I typed misclick. I normally I didn't want to do that. All right, everyone but 12 can go. Okay. So, no legs today. Feels bad. No daggers. Had shoulders and legs drop, but we didn't get either. But rip. How much FR? I usually don't get FR. You really don't need FR if you're popping potions, unless you get auto attacked from the boss. So we usually use 1 to 2 greater fire potions and then no FR. So I only had 18 FR on the boss. I probably should have swapped out my trinket. I usually do for Royal Seal, but I forgot. But that's another thing you can do. But thanks for watching, guys. No loot today, but it was still a clean run. I think I got a little unlucky on Geddon dying and a couple unlucky assignments or whatever, but I think overall I played well, so I think it went well. But I appreciate you guys watching. Follow on YouTube or subscribe on YouTube or whatever. Follow on Twitch, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.